Welcome to the Path to Exile podcast, episode 8. Today I am joined by, as per usual, our boy, Dead Rabbit. And we have our special guest, Mr. X, the Farmer X. How are you doing, sir? Just call you Farmer, right? Is what most people call you?
Yeah, call X the Farmer X. That's fine. That's my dad.
That's a lot of X's.
Yeah. It feels a little formal. That's my dad's name. You can just call me Farmer.
Oh, got it. Perfect. Well, of course, we have this podcast. I know there's a little bit of a delay. Apologize for that, but we should be resuming the weekly schedule. But of course, Path of Exile podcast, sponsored by Mobalytics. We are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. So please go check us out there. Give us a like, give us a favorite, give us a heart, give us a rating. We have been continuing to get more and more ratings, which we appreciate. But guys, patch 0.3 is upon us, and we have been playing it for about a week at this point. How is it going? How are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling? Rabbit, how are you doing?
It's amazing. This for sure has been the best league start so far. Like for me, it has been how many days now? Is it like exactly 10 or something? I don't think a league start has been as good for me so far. I think everything in terms of changes for the game was just so overwhelmingly positive, especially compared to the Dawn of the Hunt league start, which was just much more not like that. I think it has so far been absolutely amazing. I think we can already kind of tell a little bit that longevity will most likely be a little bit better than the last league. And just overall, all the changes introduced. There was a lot of stuff we already talked on the podcast on one of the last episodes before what we were wishing for in terms of changes for this patch. And I think most of the stuff has made it in here, even though some stuff is obviously still missing. And they said that, for example, tower changes or whatever, or more endgame content or whatever. But I think especially this league, and this is why also having Farmer on today is going to be very, very special, because especially this league is, in terms of crafting and in terms of itemization and in terms of everything related to that, the changes are just so huge. And then adding on top asynchronous trade and stuff, it's just it's insane. You are probably having a blast, Farmer, right? So you already finished your Zero to Mirror challenge I saw yesterday. So it's probably a league you enjoy a lot right now, right?
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna do Zero to Mirror craft, but the issue is that Fubgun says he's done. So I don't think people are gonna. I don't know if people want to mirror anymore, but and he's like my North Star. If he's not telling me what to do, what to craft, I'm lost out here. I'm afloat on the ocean with no direction. But it's been a lot of fun. He's done with mirrors, mirroring items. He says he doesn't need another mirror.
Oh, okay.
He mirrored a bow, and then he said that's all he needs.
Can you write him a letter and send him being carrier pigeon and be Fubgun, please, you're my North Star. Tell me what to do. I can't make any decisions without you.
I made 20 alt accounts just to get him to respond to my message. So I don't know if he's gonna respond to a second one. I don't know if it's EV to make another 20. But no, it's great. You wake up in the morning, you have 200 div in your what's it called, your Ainge or whatever. That's so nice. Just having that ability not to or having the option not to have to do sit in your hideout and just sweat it out and message and respond to a bunch of people who are sending you fake offers and shit. You put an item up for 100 div and you're and someone pings you for it, you're oh yes, huge sale, and they're offer 15C, and you're what the fuck? You don't have to deal with that kind of shit anymore, which is really, really nice. And the crafting is amazing. A lot of stuff is really deterministic. I played PoE 1 for the first time, really, on that last league, and I was kind of getting into a lot of the crafting mechanics there and understanding why a lot of people kind of shit on the old PoE 2 mechanics for crafting. And it just seems the distance between those two games has been cut and like in half, maybe even more in terms of like the crafting capabilities, because the systems are a lot different. But I think at the same time, these like new omens and shit and the essences, they allow some really, really good crafting like outcomes that are like not just as deterministic as PoE1, but they help a lot. I think, definitely within like a few iterations, we'll get to a point, I think, where PoE2 will be like almost on par with PoE1 in terms of the crafting materials, and then they just have to fix the end game, and it's like perfect.
It's actually insane that they got all of this in one patch. PoE1 has been around for like what, at this point since 2012, 2011 is like when the beta was, and now we're getting like you said, it's like cut in half in one patch. That is ridiculous. Like I don't know, just it boggles my mind that they can just kind of do that and just absolutely change everything just overnight. But I mean, again, it's like, I guess they have the experience, right?
Oh yeah, I'm surprised. I'm shocked. I thought it would be kind of like, you add like, one or two mechanics, and like it gets you like 10% closer, and then like after a couple years we'll get there. But yeah, it's been like one patch, boom. Crafting is saved already, because like before, crafting was bad, right? It was like, I think we could all admit it was pretty bad. You get like with the recom, you could recom like tier 1, tier 3 or something like that, and then if you do some like fracture shenanigans, you could theoretically do like 1, 1, 3, and then like your last 3 suffixes you just have to exile slam on Prage, and then you could whittle and that kind of stuff. But it was like so expensive that most people would never do it, and it's also so expensive that like, and then like it was so expensive and like weak, that like even if you could afford to do it, it was almost like not value, like it was not worth it to do it, because you're spending like 20 div in order to like increase the value of your item by like 5 or 10 div. But now it's just like everything is like just a lot better, a lot smoother throughout the whole thing. Like you'd buy a greater Exalt Orb now that's like eye level 30 minimum or 35 minimum for like 3x, and it's just so much better in every way.
It was also just like mind numbing. Like the old crafting system, it was like whenever I uploaded a video last league in like anything related to crafting, or I even called it crafting in a short, or called it crafting in anything, like the most common comment was always, this is not crafting, and I always had to kind of like agree with it, because it just wasn't. Like breaching, I don't know, like breaching crafting last league, for example, it was fracture, T1 lightning or whatever, and then it's literally for the next 40 minutes you're just chaos slamming. And that might be deterministic in the end, yes, because you can eventually determine what the outcome most likely will be, but it's just mind numbing. It's not crafting at all. And now we actually have a system where not only is it more deterministic, but you actually have like a plan on how to reach that certain determinism. And we go with a homogenizing omen, and then we have the desecrate to maybe get a blocker even, and then we can like foresee what the next modifier will be. It is just so much better. My question to you also was, because I've been thinking about it a little bit. Do you feel like it might at the stage we have right now? Do you think it might be too powerful now, or are you like fine with it?
They gotta fix it. They gotta change. They gotta tune it down a little bit. They gotta turn that shit down. It's too strong. Because you can like on certain crafts, but you can like 100% deterministically get to where you want to go with like like the amulets, for example. You can get +3 proj, tier 1 spirit, double tier 2 crit or above, and then like global defenses. And then you could just desecrate on guaranteed with like what's it called, the sovereign omen that guarantees you an Olamon mod. You can guarantee on like what's it called, evasion from body armor. And if you want to go even further than that, you can also just guarantee, like you can just what's it called, desecrate, reroll until you hit like a different mod or whatever. It's a little bit too strong right now, and I think it trivializes some crafts in a bad way, in the sense that like once you kind of figure out the formula for it, like this is just how you craft amulets now. There's no sort of like, I guess there's like it's like too deterministic. You don't want there to be like 100% chance to get the outcome that you want. At least it feels like there needs to be like a little bit of gamba, right? Like you need to be like winning like a 50-50 or something like that in order to get to the end, or I don't know. It feels a little formulaic in some ways, but like right now it's really fun because it feels like we don't know what any of the formulas are. So it's like everyone's like, it's like a race to figure out like the best formula to get your craft done. And if you can figure out the formula first, then like you're making a shit ton of money. And it's really, really fun because it's like, I don't know, it's like kind of doing like a puzzle or something. But I feel like I worry that like next league, for example, all the formulas are going to be out there. So then like we're going to lose like that creativity element of like, oh, who can figure out the formula the best? And it's just going to be like, oh, everyone already knows the formula. It's kind of like Earth in League of Legends. I don't know if you guys ever played League or played Earth. It was like when Earth first came out, it's like the game mode in League where like everything has like 90% cooldowns. Like there was no meta. Everyone was just playing like whatever the fuck they wanted. And it was like so much fun. And then like a year later, all the sweats already figured out what the meta was. So like everyone was like locking in like, I don't even know what the meta is, like Zed or like Garrett or some shit, and just like one-shotting each other. And it just wasn't fun anymore. But I that's kind of my concern with like crafting right now is, will we get to the point where everyone, like every item will already have like a formula for what to do, and then there's no longer any sort of like thinking going on in crafting? You just do this, and this, and then you guarantee you get your result, you know?
Yeah.
I'm
curious, right? Because when you're talking about, so earlier I asked, you were talking about how like you think crafting is halfway there with PoE 2 compared to PoE 1. But then like in my mind, I was thinking more about like, oh, determinism, right? But you're saying that it might even be too deterministic, which I kind of agree with. So what do you exactly mean when you say like it's halfway there to like PoE 1? If it's not just about determinism.
It's tough because like one of the most beautiful things about PoE 1 is how complicated it is. And like and that's one of the downsides of it too, right? Like the reason why PoE 2 is so much more successful than PoE 1 is just because it's less complicated, it's like less bloated, and you can get into PoE 2 really easily. Like if you're a noob, like I've got friends who like their first ARPG was PoE 2, and they that was like the best game ever. And they try PoE 1, they're like, this game sucks because it's just so hard to get into. But like PoE 1 is like a game where like if you can spend like 500 hours in it, it's like, and like learn everything that you need to learn, then it's like an amazing game, like the best in the genre. PoE 2 is like if it's a game where you only have like 10 hours to invest into it, and like to get you hooked in, then it's like the best in the genre. So I think with PoE 1, the thing with crafting is like there's like so many different ways you can craft. Like there's all these like different currencies. Like they have essentially like 10 different mechanics that are like as broken, or not as broken, that are like probably like a third like as broken as the new Abyss essences. So then in that way, like you have like so many different like combinations of crafting materials that you can like layer on top of each other, that there's like almost an infinite number of possible ways to craft an item. And obviously there's like more efficient ways to do it, but it's just like once you throw in like different like bases and different like mods and like that kind of stuff, then it becomes like a lot more of like, you know, like it just like there's just so many more and more iterations of what you have to do. But with right now with the Abyss essences, my concern is just that with tags, it's like, oh, okay, like what do you want on your item? It's like, I want crit. Okay, this is how you do it then. What you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to desecrate on a damage mod, homo exalt for crit bonus, and then crit bonus gives you crit, and then you homo on again another exalt for crit chance, and like that's gonna be how it works, you know, for every item. And like for wands, for example, like you just get the caster tag, and then you just double homogeneous exalt on cast speed plus 1 crit, and like that's how it works for every wand. You know, it's solved now for wands. It's like you always just homogeneous exalt on the suffixes after you get the +5, and then you luck your dog on like 1 more on the prefix, or you send 2, or you send another 2 on the prefix, hope that you get like spell damage plus whatever, and then you desecrate on the last mod. It just feels kind of like every wand, the craft is kind of the same, although there is ways you can innovate like and make the crafts a little bit more effective. Like Captain Lance posted a video where you can recom, clean up the bases very, very cheaply, like that kind of stuff. But after you get to that point, it's like, well, we're doing the same thing again. So that's kind of my concern.
Yeah, I think the way it is right now is a very, very good sign, with maybe some adjustments needed to be made. I think what you're describing, basically, I think that's first and foremost. I think it's obviously a very, very good thing that getting items like that, or like actually being able to craft items like that, makes them available to much more wide majority of like players. In 0.2, it was definitely not the case that most stuff that was crafted and was close to being like a very, very good one, for example, just like taking that as an example, was mostly crafted by someone who had the ability to throw enough currency at the craft, right? I think that is much, much better now. But what my worry is, and I think that's basically what you're saying as well, is just a little bit that if it's too deterministic, or if it's like too like in terms of easy to craft very like the absolute highest tier items, that kind of devalues a lot of the other stuff, because I'm not gonna be happy about finding a cool focus or whatever, because it's like, yeah, is it gonna compare to the like 2 div craft I can do? And I should absolutely mention that doesn't mean that I don't want like deterministic crafting, and especially crafting targeted at like the vast majority of players, to exist. I just think we definitely need to be careful with like the top tier items. I think the high tier stuff and the very, very like complicated and sometimes even expensive crafting should still exist. And at the same time, players with not that much currency, or not that much time to invest, or not that much knowledge to invest even, should also be able to craft items. I think expecting, though, that those items that were crafted from these 2 different people, expecting that those are going to be exactly the same, I think it is going to be weird, though, right? So I think we're like on a very, very good path, with some exceptions where it might be a little bit too easy to craft, just like, because, for example, like amulets, it's amulets, just taking that as an example now, it's pretty much solved, and I don't think anyone is gonna go for like it devalued as Sorrento is and whatever. It's like, yeah, everyone kind of knows now how to get a +3 proj or +3 caster amulet or whatever, and I don't know. I'm still torn a little bit. I love the crafting. Like I absolutely adore the crafting right now. This is not me saying this is bad or whatever. I absolutely love the crafting, and I think just saying like, yeah, there might be some adjustments needed. I don't think that's like a weird thing to say. So yeah, we'll see. I do think there is going to be some adjusting, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too. I think a point that you made is really important, is that like, I think right now this crafting system is really, really good for like SSF players and like more like casual players who won't be able to ever access like really, really expensive crafting, you know, like just normal jawbone or normal rib that they're like less than an exalt each, right? And you now get to like pretty much you now get 1 mod on your item that's like almost free, right? So I think that's awesome. But I think another important point that you were kind of alluding to is that like, you kind of have to balance the game around like the top end, because it all trickles down, right? So if you have people who are like pumping out like the absolute BIS amulets, like I was making like 20 or 30 of them like a day, you know, like of just like absolute top tier, like pretty much every line is perfect amulets. And if you're doing that, then it's like, okay, I'm selling these amulets for like 45 div a pop, right? And this is like end game, the best install you can like, this is like the best amulets you could realistically pay for, right? Then what's going to happen to like the normal amulets that you drop, right? Like all of those prices are going to be based off of the prices that like the top of the line crafts that are being set, right? So last league, those are worth like 100 div, right? And then the tier below those, which is just like +3 proj, and then like spirit, and then like whatever stats, those would be worth like 40 div. And then you keep going down. It's like, then just what's +3 on its own? Then it's like, that's like probably just 10 div. +3 with like any mods, like probably 10 div. But now it's like the top line is 45. That second tier is like 15. And then that bottom tier is like 5. You know what I mean? So it's like, now you're right. Like a lot of items, a lot of drops are going to be devalued a little bit. And a lot of like the crafts that you could do for profit before that were like mid tier are going to be a lot less valuable. And keep in mind, this is only like, 10 days in. So it's possible that in a month now, it's like, if you're not running like BIS items might just be worth like 5 or 10 div. And definitely makes it more accessible to the lower players. But it's like the more accessible your items are to buy and craft, right? The less accessible, like the less valuable the items that you're going to drop are going to be, right? Which I feel like would be a bad situation. And also a thing that I feel like is kind of bad about PoE1 is that when you're playing it, it's like the only, obviously there's caveats to this, but in my experience, it felt like the only things that were worth dropping were like either tier 0 uniques or like currency items. And I think that's something that's really unique. And like, I think that's something that like draws a lot of people into PoE2 is that like the items that you drop on the ground are actually like valuable. Like you want to ID like those tiered uniques, or sorry, tiered rares. You want to like pick up the bases and like, you know, craft on them, like the white bases and craft on them a little, especially this league, right? And I worry that like that might devalue that. But besides that, like I mean, I feel like I'm shitting on this mechanic, but it's really, really good. Like I've been to answer your question of am I enjoying the league? This like I'm actually a crackhead. In real life right now because I play this. I don't think I've seen a family member or my girlfriend in like almost 10 days now. Definitely haven't seen the light of the day. So
not with those cracked board windows.
Yeah.
No, I mean
I'm the same.
Yeah, same. I did leave for a little bit for like a short stint over in Seattle for a friend, but other than that, I've literally been at home just playing the entire time. But I mean, it's just with the crafting, it's like such a hard balance, right? You have to make it so that there is determinism, but like too much determinism can also be a bad thing because like, yeah, you know, it's like there's so many implications to it that like even like I had so many thoughts like that I'm like even forgetting some of them, right? If we think about it like from a perspective of longevity of the game, we've talked about this before with like Last Epoch and D4, like how you can just get perfect characters like so quickly that like people are just done after like playing a week. Like we might have a lot of fun with this like week of playing and it's really great, but then once you're like able to get those BIS items like that easily, then it's like, what am I farming for anymore? What am I playing for anymore? Yep. Right? And that's like always an issue. But also, I mean, even though RNG is sometimes annoying, it's also a lot of fun. Like being able to pog out and be like, oh my God, I just hit this crazy roll. Like that's fun. That's so exciting, right? I mean, it's the reason why people go to the casino and gamble, let's be real. But it's like, it's such a goddamn hard balance to draw that like, I don't know. I also think that over time, perhaps it might get better. Maybe they don't even need to touch it because over time they might add more affixes to items, right? Makes it things a little bit less deterministic because there are more mods to choose from now. Even though before you only had like 4 to choose from, it's like 1 out of 4. But then you add 1 more, it's a 1 out of 5. Then you add 1 more, 1 out of 6, right? And then that ends up being that over time things balance themselves naturally.
The thing is also, I'm like, and I think this is like what probably Farmer's opinion is as well already. I'm not talking about nerfing the crafting system or anything. Like I mean adjustments. Like maybe some things need an extra tag, or like some things need some that it's not a 100% to hit, but maybe like 60% to hit. I'm not talking about like nerfing the crafting system down or whatever. It's just like maybe adjusting a little bit. And I also think we're not even close to like a Last Epoch type situation here. Even though there is like a lot of types of items, I would say like foci, for example, or like amulets and whatever, that is maybe the case. There is still so much on the top end, like with all the exceptionals, like base items now, with everything related to that. There is always going to be the highest mirror tier crafting, whether like the lower tier crafting is 100% deterministic or it isn't. The high tier crafting, especially with the exceptional bases now, and the absolute top tier, like thousands of divs items, that will always still be in the game. And I think to have that still at the top, to always be kind of reach for, even though you have like your way of making your character better now with like these lower or mid tier crafts, I think that's a very, very good situation that we have right now. It's so much better than the last league, because last league we only had the high tier crafting, and now it's just so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I know how they're gonna. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. I was just gonna say that. I mean, even like I think like if you, it's like interesting, right? They've added so many different forms of crafting that like I don't know. I guess it technically is gambling, but like, what are the omen of putrefaction or whatever, right?
That's
one where
gambling,
you just it's just gambling, but at the same time, it makes you feel like you're crafting, right? I don't know, because you get kind of like a choice and like whatever, but they've added like a huge spectrum of like the ways that you can actually craft that. At the end of the day, I think there are a lot of people that just, it's like what Rabbit was saying. There's just a huge spectrum. It's not just at the top end anymore. It's you can just kind of craft across the board, which is really nice.
Definitely. I think I know how they're going to solve this problem, honestly. Like what they're going to do is they're just going to add in, like next league, there's going to be a new mechanic that's going to be like harvest or something like that, right? And they're going to add in a bunch of new currencies or crafting methods, and then they're just going to nerf some of these ones. And then it'll be like that's essentially like how they're going to fix this problem, which is like it has to be broken, this mechanic. It has to be broken because there's no other mechanics to really work on, right? So all the power has to be in these mechanics. So you have to have like essentially like 8 mechanics worth of power in this one mechanic, because like the way the mechanic works is like very, very like rigid, right? It's like you have to use an omen, you have to use desecration, like that kind of stuff in order to like balance the mechanic. But then once like in 2 leagues from now, once they add 2 more mechanics, then there's like 3 different angles at which they can hit the crafting problem, and then they can nerf this initial mechanic. You see what I'm saying? So I think in terms of like the longevity of the game, it feels like that they're all set for sure. Like I definitely see them just being like, okay, here's like this new mechanic that we're going to add in. It's going to add like these different ways to craft, and crafting might get a little bit more deterministic. But then it'll also be like, we're also going to nerf like homogenizing exalts a little bit, you know, or we're gonna add some more tags on to items to make it so that the homogenizing exalt isn't so broken, and then it'll feel a lot better. But I feel very confident in GGG to fix that.
100%. And I mean, speaking of like GGG fixing things, I think a lot of like the reason why like crafting has felt so smooth really is because of like the fixes to trade and like the instant buyout just being like so much more frictionless, and being able to actually like go and buy things when you see it. Like imagine if we had the current crafting system and you wanted to go buy bases, but then just like half of the people listing bases are just like AFK or not responding or whatever, right? That would feel terrible.
For sure.
I mean,
I think also like the that is hard for me to say. Asynchronous trade. Asynchronous trade. It's just gonna keep the league alive, in my opinion, because it was like a big thing for a lot of people last league that was still playing last league, even though the player numbers were like very, very down or whatever. But I, for example, was still like playing and streaming the game, and most people were like engaging in this like type of crafting content and whatever, or were like trying to craft items themselves, or we're still playing and we're still trying to make new cool builds. And the main issue for most people was like that trade was like kind of dead. And I think having this trade system now is just gonna ensure, I think, that trade is most likely, even in end league type scenarios, I think trade is just going to be so much more alive, because just by the nature of how the system works. So I think, just on top of all the crafting and whatever, and making it more accessible to the vast majority of players, I just think like the asynchronous trade is just the cherry on top, kind of. That is the hope for me for this league and like continuing leagues.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we kind of jumped around a little bit, guys. Earlier, I was thinking about talking about the no, don't worry about it at all. Like, but you know, beyond this, like, kind of currency crafting stuff, I think we'll probably come back to it a little bit later. But like, we didn't even talk at all. Like, we talked about this crafting. We talked about like the end game stuff. I'm curious to hear, right? Because it's kind of interesting to think about this, but it's been a while since we've been in the campaign at this point. But we haven't talked about the campaign at all, and like the experience this time. Like, how did you guys think about? What do you guys think about the campaign? How was it?
Too fucking hard. That's what I think about it. I died that interlude, ED Contagion, but I didn't have any resistances.
I mean,
you were speedrunning basically, right?
Yeah. I got through campaign in like 6 hours or something, and then I died to that interlude boss for an hour straight.
Which one?
the fucking like the katana guy. That guy clapped my cheeks for literally an hour straight. Yeah, it was bullshit. It was actually, but like it was cool.
Yeah, I mean that is probably down to you just like completely skipping everything. You just basically speedrun it, right? Because I think overall I took like 9 hours overall. I think to get to maps. And I was kind of like chilling. I was not completely like speedrunning. I think that will happen too. But overall, how did you think? Like, did you even experience campaign, or were you just like zoom in and just locked in? Initial D soundtrack playing, or
I don't know. I'm not like I don't know how to describe it. Like, I don't really get my dopamine in the game from campaign. Like I know a lot of people like they love campaign. They love like experiencing like the bosses and everything for the first time. And yeah, I like to zoom. I like to get through it. I really wanted to get to the maps and like do some mapping, and then I just got sucked into like the crafting stuff. I was like, holy shit, you can do so much. But I thought it was cool. Like I thought I mean, I might not be the best like critic of this stuff or like judge, but it just felt like the Act 4 campaign like was very beautiful. You know, like it felt very well designed in terms of like the art looked really cool, and like it was like all very thematic on like the King's March like shipment stuff. And the bosses like had cool like mechanics and stuff. Like the monkey, for example, I thought he was really cool. And the interludes, they felt like all right, but like, you know, there definitely were some issues too. Like some of the maps felt like a little bit too big. Like there was that one interlude like layout that was like, it was like this fucking big, you know, and like you could go all
with the 4 entrances.
Yeah,
I think that was like this act.
That felt like
right?
an act.
Yeah,
that felt like a whole fucking act.
So I think they could work on fixing some of like maybe like the layouts or something like that. But like there weren't really any big problems for me with the campaign. I thought it was all good. Like it felt like a good continuation of the first 3. You know, it felt like it was just as good as the first 3 were. Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. You said you struggled with the campaign and had a tough time, but you made it through in 6 hours, man. Most people did not make it through that quickly. I mean, I definitely did it the slowest out of here. I streamed for, I think, 17 and a half hours, though 3 of those were not on Path of Exile. Those before the game came out. But still, I think it took me like 14 hours to get to interlude.
Oh shit. Well, I mean, make it clear.
I didn't struggle, okay? It was just I was taking my time.
Yeah.
I was taking my time.
I didn't make it through the campaign in 6 hours. I almost did. I ended up making it through the campaign, 99% of the campaign in 6 hours, and then
until
the last
boss.
Until that's
then an hour and a half on that boss. So yeah. But I know I was just joking. Like it was like I think most of you guys, you guys all probably first time that boss, right? Like you got there and just killed him.
Yeah,
I don't know who you're talking about, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're probably like, what boss?
No,
like
actually,
they're all the same. The katana guy, who, like
Asmati, the guy,
Oh,
Act 2 interlude. I think he's the guy who, like, you know, has like a bunch of like teleporting moves and like has a time little dome.
Oh, the
thingy.
like the purple monkey.
No, not the purple monkey. No, he's the guy who like, oh god. And then Zarok comes in halfway through and says some mumbo jumbo and like freezes the screen. And there's like this dude when you walk in the background, like in the front, he's like, oh, like that, and like air in the midair, like that guy.
Wait, hold up.
I might need to play the campaign again. I don't know. I might need to play the campaign again. It's all a blur. I felt like I was cheating in campaign because I played ED Contagion as well, but on an actual Ascendancy and not on demon form. And I found like a +3 Chaos Wand with like 80 spell damage or whatever and cast speed.
Sounds like you're just cheating or
something.
Man.
And I was yeah. So everything after that was just like super. But I think still, like especially Act 4 was super, super nice. And I think it's also just a very, very good workaround right now with the interludes, because most likely interludes are going to be gone as soon as Act 5 comes. So that is most likely going to be the only time we're going to be playing the interludes in a league like that. So I think they just made it in a way where it's just. It's a lot like the last discussion that we had. just in terms of comparing it to the experience we had last league, it is just so much better. Yes, there might be some stuff where still some people are gonna be like deservedly so, like this is some issue, these are some issues here or whatever, or like maps too big or like felt clunky or whatever, or Act 4 was too long or something that I read a lot. But it is just like the direction we're heading is 100% positive in my opinion. So it is super good. I had a lot of fun in the campaign. In 0.2, I got frustrated as hell playing campaign. I couldn't tell you why now, but I do distinctly remember that in 0.2 I was frustrated as fuck in campaign. And I wasn't really frustrated this time around. I think might have been down to the build that I was playing. It's like probably one of the easiest builds you can play in campaign. So yeah, I don't know if my opinion is valid in that stage. I fully understand some people wanted to cook up their own builds or like wanting to try new skills, for example, and just like hating it because there is some stuff that was 100% undertuned or didn't work the way people expected it to work. And I fully understand the frustration there. I just went like the safe route. I went with something where I, for 99% chance, knew that it's just gonna work. And so I personally didn't have any complaints about it, but I fully understand if there was like other people who tried to make something else work and it just didn't, and that is frustrating. Like that is exactly what happened to me in 0.2. I tried something, it didn't work at all. I got frustrated as hell. I almost quit everything, and then I started again.
So
Yeah, I
you're
agree.
telling me you had no struggles with the campaign at all? You didn't run into any
This time
bosses
around,
that gave you
zero.
trouble?
This time around,
Lucker dog.
zero.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Lucker
Wait,
dog.
let me remember. No, the siren. Like the siren in Act 4
Oh, yeah.
It was so
Oh, yeah.
annoying.
took me like probably 10 tries.
Oh, the chick with the tits?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I had trouble for other reasons, but I did one shot her though.
Yeah. I had trouble for other reasons too. Actually, me and Rabbit both did. We had ED. We had ED problems.
Yeah, we were both going with ED, so.
We had performance issues with her. It's kind of embarrassing.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate. You gotta upgrade that graphics card.
That was I think the boss that where, but like I said, like I actually like I was basically cheating because ED Contagion was just so good in campaign, and especially when you get lucky with a good wand, that's basically all you need and you're done.
Yeah. Hollow Palm. I mean, Hollow Palm was really good, honestly. Like, I was playing Hollow Palm, and it was so strong in the campaign. I mean, granted, it's not like there was no struggles at all, given it was like a new act and like, you know, trying new things, but it was really smooth. And I think like right now, I think Lazy Exile made a video that a lot of people watch that she was saying like Hollow Palm might be like one of the best leveling archetypes out there that you can do with every single class, which is kind of insane. So I don't know. I also had a really good time, but I definitely like there was a lot of like chatter and concern from people about like survivability. I think one of the things is like both of you guys played range. Melee was pretty tough. I don't know if you've heard from the grapevine from anybody who played Melee.
I literally don't know
Saw
anyone
some
who
videos.
didn't play LA. Like, literally everyone.
You don't know anyone?
LA. I'm like, okay, fuck you guys.
It sounds
what's the name of your new character, by the way? I saw
my new character.
Yeah, what's the
I only
character
play
name?
meta. But I don't play meta.
No, I thought, why didn't I start LA? Was your new character?
That's a different guy. Yeah, that's a different guy.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
That's a good like segue though into like another small discussion, because LA, Lightning Arrow, like in general, Deadeye, do you guys think it's just like, is it actually just so good that it's like hard to pass on for 50% of the player base? I think it's even worse now than if we go to Period 2 Ninja. I think it's even worse now than last league with it's 37% just Deadeye and like 49%
by like
Herald of Thunder. Yeah,
if you filter by like they're like level, it's even worse. It's like 80%.
Yeah, it's insane. So do you guys actually think that LA is just that good, or is it like a self-fulfilling prophecy for a lot of people that it's like someone started the trend basically and now people are just following? Because I personally feel like, yes, LA Lightning Arrow, especially on Deadeye, it is probably the best build in the game. I think there are so many others though that can come pretty close though, right?
I think you can come close. The issue is that even if you come close, you just can't match like two things that LA can do. Number one, LA just gets so much movement speed from like Roa plus Deadeye Ascendancy, right? And like all like the good movement speed nodes in the tree are near the Ranger, right? So you just have so much more movement speed than every other class. Like you're probably like at least 50% more, like more. So like if you have 20, then they have 30, or if you have 100, they have 150. But I think like realistically, you can actually get up to like 200%, which is like double MS, which is kind of it's disturbing, right? And then also number two, it's like by using the Roa and by taking specific nodes, you can make it so like you don't have like ED Contagion. What's the problem with that? It's like cast speed, right? You have to invest a lot into cast speed in order to like make it so like it doesn't feel clunky. But even then, you're still casting like a couple things. So it feels like in order to do your rotation, you gotta like kind of like stop moving for like maybe half a second or 1 second. You know what I mean? With the Roa bullshit with LA, you're literally just like full sprinting and then everything around you is dying because there's no kind of like, you know, like normally when you're casting like a LA, like a bow, a lightning arrow thing, right? You have to like stop and you're doing like the walking animation. But with the Roa, you're just like full sprinting, shooting like Nova, shooting like a 360-degree projectile around you, off screening everything. It's like, and you're moving at like 200 ms. It's like, it's too broken. Like it's too powerful. And there's no downsides to it. Like the downside survivability, but you have so much damage. Like you actually don't even see mobs. So it's like there really is no downside to LA. I think for sure it's too powerful, and in a way where it's like if you can kind of think of it like mathematically in terms of like clear speed, right? It just feels like the clear speed for LA is like 30, 40, 50, maybe even like 100% faster than like other builds. And if that's the case, then it just kind of feels bad, kind of in a. Like obviously you can just say like don't like get FOMO or don't whatever, but it's like it does feel bad to know like, oh, these other guys playing this different build are just able to clear like 50% more maps than me for no reason, right?
And that's exactly the Lightning Spear situation from last league. I totally get it because a lot of people don't want to feel like their like playtime is being used inefficiently and playing like a bad build. Then in that case, compared to that build, I fully understand it. I was always someone who I never go for the most popular build. I didn't even play a single like Lightning Spear build last league, and I won't play probably LA or Deadeye this league. I always try to find like the other stuff. So I'm always, when it comes to this kind of discussion, I'm always a little bit probably jaded in my opinion, or like biased in my opinion, because I always look for the other stuff that might be as good. But that's also why I wanted to ask, because I feel like I always felt like the builds that I've seen that are not LA so far right now, there are some where I was like, oh yeah, this how do you get any better than that? But if you tell it like that, it definitely sounds like it's. I mean, the numbers don't lie, right? So like 40% Deadeye is actually kind of crazy. And I would say like Sir Gog released a video yesterday, I think, on the meta report and everything. I think of 40% Deadeye or whatever. Or now, if you just take the bow Deadeye players, that would be like the fourth most used ascendancy or whatever. And that is kind of crazy, I think. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Balance. 2 leagues in a row now with with a balance like that is definitely something to look for maybe in the next league.
I mean,
yeah, I'm not sure how that happened.
Thinking? What were they thinking?
Yeah.
Like the fact that Lightning Arrow was meta last season, they didn't touch it, and then they made it even stronger with the Lightning Rod change. Like I don't know, and then they also buffed Roa on top of that. Like.
LA honestly is LS from last league, but it's actually stronger now. I think it's just a better version, because LS had like it was just you could Roa as well, but Roa wasn't as strong, and I just didn't feel like the clear was as strong because like you did more damage, but like and you could off screen more, but it was like it wasn't as guaranteed. You know, you would only be able to clear like one like quadrant of your map. Whereas LA, you clear like 360 degrees all around
because of
you.
the Nova support, right?
Because of the Nova,
all the new
and, like,
support gems. Like the support
Rockiatas as
gems
well.
are fucking insane. Like all the new support gems just made it so much better as well. Like the caster, I feel like as someone who like mainly likes to play caster type archetypes, I feel a little bit let down when I look at like elemental armament and like the new martial tempo and everything and execute or whatever. I look at those and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I get rapid casting 3, I guess, which was kind of always. So yeah, it's kind of funny because the balancing was very, very top heavy again this league. I do think as the league will progress, there is gonna be a lot of new stuff coming up though. I think especially with the new support gems and with some of the new stuff that was released in this league, there is gonna be effect where towards the mid and end of the league there is gonna be more builds coming up that some people will probably deem the new meta then again now, and that will always be the case. Like every league will always have the best build. It's always going to be the case. It was just like we said in last league as well. It just a little bit too much. It kind of. I just think it's not good for the game because a lot of people look at their builds and try to cook something up for themselves, and they just look at a lightning arrow player, just like you described it, just like clearing the whole screen in a full circle with one click. It just, I don't know, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good.
It pisses you off. You're like, what the fuck am I doing? Man? Like this guy's got like 5 different worth of gear. He's just fucking running around Unga Bunga on a Roa, clearing everything. Like fuck this. I'm logging in. I'm respecing. You know, like.
Yep.
I mean, I've gotten so many people that have messaged me like, "Hey, I respect off a Hollow Palm. I'm playing Lightning Arrow, and oh my god, the game feels like night and day."
Oh yeah. Fucking nuts.
I mean, ED Contagion is insane now. I'm just gonna say it again. I will probably.
You also are using Nova on ED Contagion.
Also, yeah, I am. But just for clear, that's just that's just a bonus. That's just a bonus. It's actually insane now. When I discovered the like 10% movement speed rune while on low life a few days ago, that was my hallelujah moment because ED Contagion can actually reach like 90% MS now. So it's nuts. I'm so happy.
In a way, do you think it's like, are there any melee builds that can actually keep up with the range right now?
I saw Conger doing like Stampede build with Rolling Slam. That looked very, very good. Looked expensive though, I think. I don't know, but I saw Conger doing like a very, very good melee build. That's it though.
But will it compete with like speed of any range build? Like, I mean, it's definitely competent, right? But can you actually compete with like not even Roa, like, you know, Lightning Arrow, even just like, you know, any ED Contagion Nova, something like that. Like, I feel like Nova is just kind of like ridiculous. I've also seen like some Arc Nova stuff and like all these like crazy range builds are just absolutely clearing.
I saw Lance yesterday doing just like Frostbolt. I think he was using like just Snake Pit and also like the Nova thing and just using Frostbolt and just like absolutely insane. Yeah, melee players, as someone who doesn't really play melee, I do feel for the melee players very, very heavily. Very heavily.
It's like it's always been a thing.
We're all thinking of like, oh, have I seen a good melee, like a fast melee build that can even like close to compare to anything that the casters or like the ranged attacks are doing? And I like the first thing I thought was King Konger's build, but that is it.
Yeah, it's always been a melee
for it. Yeah,
it's always been a range focused game. Like even Path of Exile 1 for the longest time, range has always been king. But I don't know, the difference between melee and ranges league seems kind of insane, especially because they've continually nerfed all like the melee, like the heralds, and then like the, you know, what is it, the cast on X plus voltaic marks that allowed melee to actually like clear screens like that. Maybe like trample toe stuff could still be decent, but you lose out on the movement speed, right?
Yeah. And just like stopping for attacks. just like having to actually hit a mob is always going to be like that. But yeah, maybe some love here and there. Not maybe nerfing Giant's Blood as badly, or like, and then removing Deepest Tower and then just putting in a new Deepest Tower
for range. Like, I mean, technically it's not just for range characters, but I mean,
yeah, sure,
it's
but
not as good as Deepest Tower. Deepest Tower, you could really just be like, all right, I'm just gonna throw this on any build, right? And you can reach it pretty much from like all the meta classes. But you know, if you're playing like probably like Sork or whatever, it's probably harder to reach those nodes down there.
I'm about to make a build. I'm about to make a Lich build that is gonna be using that. So.
I mean, again, it's still
I'm gonna go all the way down.
It's still not as good because there's 19 nodes and you can't from nothing it. It's it's a little bit worse, but it's pretty dang strong.
Yeah.
Are any of the Deadeyes using it? I don't think so, right?
Think so. Yeah, Fopgun is using it.
Oh,
right? Isn't Fop using it in his like that? Why wouldn't he? It's just it's free attack speed, free damage, free evasion. I'm very sure.
I don't know about the tree.
I'm very sure he's using it.
Yeah, I think they're probably using it. Honestly, maybe I'm the only idiot that's not using it. But you know, it is kind of expensive. It's a couple it's like 8 div or 8 div for like the what is it, the 5 surround one, the -5 one.
Oh, the helmet. It's like
yeah.
It's like 20.
Oh, is it 20 now? Holy.
Oh no. I'm thinking about the exceptional one where you have 2 sockets. That's like 30 something.
Oh
yeah. I think you're right. 8 div is right.
You gotta dumb it down for me. I don't dabble in those exceptional items. Earlier when you were saying like, oh, I love waking up to like seeing 200 div in my Ange, I'm like, I've never even seen 200 div in my life.
my bad. Sorry, I thought we were all crack house gamers here who live inside of the video game.
How much money do you guys have right now? Tell me, what would you say is the net, like, let's just say raw currency right now? How much do you guys even have?
Like, what do you mean, raw currency?
Yeah.
Years?
Or like you said net worth as well. Like
no. Let's start with raw currency. 2 mirrors.
280 right now.
280 div on
right
you.
now.
How much is a mirror right now?
700.
I'm not really sure.
700. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy because I think like mirrors.
If you get in early with mirrors, it's basically the best investment you can take. Like probably since Farmer bought his first mirror, it's probably been like doubled or something, I would guess.
Plus 240. I bought it at 461. Yeah. I got it in late.
Yeah.
Oh
late.
Man, late. Guys, I've never seen a mirror in my life, and I don't know if I ever will, to be honest. I'm out here real happy because I made I think I made like 8 div today. I was like, this is a successful day. I came out on top.
Honestly, that's
the way to play the game. Much more happy than him.
Yeah. Look at the circle under my eyes, man. I'm playing like I'm like day trading in PoE 2.
Yes.
No, I mean I say this like all the time because there's a lot of like RMT allegations in my stream. But like, I think if you're RMTing, you're doing yourself a huge disservice because I think these kind of games, like the most fun I ever have is when I'm actually just like dirt broke and I'm like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes for like 1 exalt, you know what I mean? Like that's like when or like 1 div, like that's when you're having the most fun, when you have like nothing and like every single like bit of currency means so much to you and it's like so impactful for like a gear upgrade or like in order to like do more crafting and like that kind of stuff. It's like so much fun. Like once you have a mirror, like the game sucks, honestly. It's like really boring. It feels like what are you doing anymore? It's like that's why I always like restart. Like I'll just like give it away or like not use it or something like that. And start from scratch because I think the best part of the game is like that mid game area where you have like 1 or 2 div and you're on the come up. That's the best part for sure. If I could just stay in that area.
Always the best. Early league is always the best. Like when you get to mapping and your build absolutely sucks. You have like 12 lightning res, like -4 chaos res. You're just going in there, you drop a helmet and it has 25 chaos res and some crit or whatever.
3 div.
And you're just gonna be like,
Yes.
It is the best. Like I really try to find the balance always. To my only reason why I always feel like, oh fuck, I need to actually get some tech in to make some currency is because I want to do build guides. I want to do like I want to test out stuff. I want to do like new builds or try new characters or try new builds on new characters or whatever. And that is in the end gonna cost divs. Other than that, I couldn't care less. Like I couldn't care less. It's always like a question in chat, and probably farmers chat like times 100 than mine. People coming in like and being like, yeah, what's the div per hour on this? Like what's the div per hour on this? I always hate that, because yes, I like fully get it. If that is your approach to the game and if you're having fun with that, that's totally fine. But I think most people, and I don't like, at least me, if I think about the game being div per hour, that's just I'm gonna quit probably a week later, because it's just gonna be like it feels like a treadmill that I just don't want to be on. So yeah, I think it's fun, like playing the game like you do, Farmer, as well. And just like as someone like from the outside looking in, it's super fun to see, because it's basically like a whole new game, and basically playing the market and playing the economy and looking for like crafting tech, or looking for like tech, like ways to abuse the market a little bit. I think that is a fun game on its own, kind of. So it depends. It just depends on what you want out of your game experience, right? So there's like hundreds of different ways to play the game and to in the end have just like fun with it. So yeah, I think that's awesome.
All I know is I was pogging out off of the Essence of Battle that dropped today. 30 exalts, by the way.
Yeah,
it's good money.
I mean.
It's good money.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like that's the way to play the game. That's why I always do like League Start. I always just go really hard, try to make as much currency as I can for like a week, and then like yesterday I was just like, okay, I've had my fill of this, and then I just put it all in the guild stash, and I'm restarting. I restarted.
Wait, what's the guild?
Yeah, wait. I think your guild's the one
to
join.
Join that guild? What do you mean?
Wait a second.
Yeah,
wait, Patreon. Do you want to fund the next Dead Rabbit build? Oh, okay. Yeah. There are the IMT allegations. There we go.
But yeah, like I now I just like put it all away, and I'm gonna play the game like restart, no trading, or like not no trading, but like no profit trading, like that kind of stuff, and then play the game like a normal person. And I always get a lot of enjoyment out of that. But I think it's just like you can do all of it, right? Like you set the terms for like how you play the game. So now I just like be a little bit more strict on like what I can do, and I have a lot more fun doing it like that. But I also have fun doing it like both ways. It's like I can enjoy. It's like I get to have my cake and eat it too. So yeah. But yeah, I do agree though. If you look at the game purely as just like how much money are you making, like how efficient can you be, it's a little rough, right? It's a little rough. And
I think a lot of people play that way, though. A lot of people do play that way. That's why they like look for these like super blaster builds, right? They want to be able to blast through maps. But I mean, not everybody's playing Hideout Warrior, which is kind of like the uber like on the other end of like, hey, I just want to make money. But there are a lot of people that just want to blast through maps with like Lightning Arrow and just get as much money as possible.
That's me as well. Like even when I play the game, I play it like that. It's just like I don't know why. Like I wish I could not do it. But like if I'm not, it just feels like for me, if I'm not playing like as optimally or as efficiently as I can, I just feel like I don't know, like it doesn't like kind of scratch that same itch for me. So I definitely relate to those people. Like if I'm not thinking like if I'm doing a strategy that's only making like 5 div an hour and it's like fun content, so to speak, it kind of I don't know, it just doesn't feel the same as if I'm doing something that's like a little bit more boring, that's making like twice that amount of money. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm Chinese. Maybe it's a racial issue. But
hey,
it just feels like I'm
with that one. And I'm not like that at all.
Shit. Are you Cantonese then? Maybe is that what it is? Okay, that's what it is. That's the problem. I'm from the mainland. I'm from Beijing. I'm from the big. Like my parents are from the big city. It's all about the rat race. It's in my blood. But yeah, I totally relate to that, and it just feels kind of like I really care about like how much money are we making for the divs. It just feels like I need a strategy that makes a lot of money, and if I'm doing like a suboptimal strategy, I don't know why, it irks me. Like it just feels like, oh, like we're doing this wrong, or you guys don't know, but that's. I wish that we could get like a psychologist.
I like
to come
efficiency.
In.
I like efficiency.
Yeah.
I have been like for the last 3 days, or I've been like 99% of my time playing the game was spent in T4 Simulacrum. That's not because I like Simulacrum that much. It's just because I felt like, yeah, this is like giving me all I need in terms of dopamine hits, because it's just dropping so much good shit. So I'm not doing it because I enjoy, like it is part of an ARPG. I think that is not to be understated, that part of an ARPG, even though it's on a like super, super nice looking and nicely feeling foundation that is PoE2, in the end, it's kind of like it's a crawl. It's just like a loot crawler. You just like, that is what makes these games. I like mentioning Diablo 2. Like the game for sure doesn't have the best mechanics. For sure it doesn't have any quality of life. It looks amazing. I think personally it feels amazing to play, but that game lives on dopamine basically, and just being like, oh my fucking god, I dropped Tyrael's Might or whatever it is, or a burn or whatever. Like that is just what it is, and that is how Diablo 2 has lived for like 20 years. It's not because the game is like mechanically perfect and has the best class balance and has the best like skill variety or whatever. No, it's actually just people coming back in to find a fucking Griffin's Eye for the first time or whatever. It's that is what ARPGs are about. So I think if we continue to move in that direction on PoE2, I think it's just going to be more awesome. I think we already have, like, with exceptional bases and like now the lineage support gems, and some T0 uniques that are still like very, very much a chase item. I don't know, like Headhunter is still like 70 div or something. That is so awesome. I dropped the Diala's Desire yesterday. That is like in Simulacrum, the like +1 lineage support gem. And I went to Alch to put it in the currency exchange, and I saw 24 divines, and I almost felt like I got like goosebumps. So, right? That is
hell yeah. I honestly wish that that's one of my complaints actually, is I wish that there was like maybe 2 or 3 chase items that like remember like 0.1, everyone was like, dude, I just want to get a Temporalis so I can do like Blink Auto Bomber, or like I want to try out like Temporalis. Like it changed the way you play the game, right? It's kind of like getting an Enigma in Diablo 2, right? It's like the exact same thing. Like everyone wants to get an Enigma because everyone wants to be able to just zoom, and it just felt like, Temporalis is like 800, 600, 500 div, but it's like perfect. It's like a perfect solution to kind of like the end game problem we have in PoE2, because it's like, early development, right? Early access. So it's like, the end game isn't as fleshed out. So like, what are we farming for? Like in Path of Exile 1, it's like you get a 2 mirror build, and like now you can actually start farming the end game efficiently. You know what I mean? In PoE2, it's not like that. So it just feels like if you have like 1 or 2 items that are like giga expensive that you might never attain, but you're always like reaching for and clawing at, then it feels like it gives a lot more meaning to this, like this mechanic in ARPGs that you're kind of talking about, which I think is incredibly important, which is like this idea of like, you need to get that dopamine, but it's like, if I keep dropping divs and like I have nothing else to buy, then it's like the dopamine goes away. But if there's always that one more thing, or not like always one more thing, but if there is that one thing that's like really, really hard to get to and actually worth like chasing after, like the Temporalis or like the Astromentus, even it was like 200 div, I remember at 0.1, because that really enabled the Tempest Flurry build, right? Like I just feel like if they add 1 or 2 more items like that, I think it would be awesome, and I don't see why they wouldn't. Maybe it's just because it makes people feel like a little bit more FOMO for like, oh, I'll never be able to get a Temporalis, which I guess is fair actually, but I don't know. I just feel like adding like those chase items, it just feels like, it feels like so good for the game.
I love it too. Just like having like a few of these, and I think we're in a good spot right now. By the way, this is speaking like 10 days into the league, so let's see how it turns out. But there is a lot of uniques right now where it's just an insta like 50 div, and anyone can like drop it. Like Death Articulated right now is I think 50+ div. However it's dropped. Headhunter, for example, like the Viper Cap, it's in like the Constricting Command, it's an immediate like 10 div or whatever, depending on the roles or whatever. So I need that in the game. I need that in the game. I want everyone to have cool stuff. But I want to have these moments like Farmer said of like without that it's not like it's not tickling that place in my brain. So yeah, I guess the balancing is hard. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's like really interesting, right? Because I remember like at the end of last season, we were talking about rare like uniques not feeling that like rare anymore, and like how it was like, oh, we're dropping this like really really great unique, and it's like worthless because like at some point in 0.2.1 or something like that, or 0.2, they just increase the drop rates of the uniques like crazy. So it's like really cool to like right now be like, hey, there's so many uniques that are worth so much. So it's kind of like in a way like the opposite of how we felt like at the end of last league. And now who's to say that it's not going to feel like that again? Like perhaps the reason why the uniques were kind of worthless at the time was because not many people were playing, or like, you know, there were just so many dropping at the time and it's like the end of the league. But it is cool to see that there is that like, you know, a good number of uniques that are just expensive, and like again, anybody could drop it. But when it comes to that, like one, like those like huge chase items, it's like, as you said, Farmer, I think like there are people who do feel like they're like, you know, the FOMO, right? That they don't want to have items that are that chase because like, you know, I don't know. At least for my stream, I get like the gambit of people. I get the people who are like super casual all the way to people who are, you know, maybe not as hardcore as some of your chatters, but definitely more on the hardcore side that do share that opinion. So it's just kind of hard to like please everybody. But it's something I was talking about earlier, and I think this is something that maybe you guys have thought about, maybe not. And it's definitely something I didn't think about it until today. But we were talking about earlier about how like, and this is the way I kind of described Path of Exile 2 a while back as well, which I think is wrong. I've always kind of thought about Path of Exile 2 as like the game that's kind of catering more towards like a more casual audience, I think, right? I think we've all kind of said that in the past, but I actually don't really necessarily think that that's what they're trying to do now that I'm like really processing it. Because like, if we think about it this way, Path of Exile 2, in my opinion, is there to solve for the problem of like people who can't like want to play Path of Exile 1, but just can't get into it, right? Because of like the complexities you were mentioning earlier. But I think that those people are, you know, doesn't necessarily mean aren't hardcore or like are like casuals. It's just that they don't want to read a novel or like watch like a movie about crafting before they can play the game. So it's
go
like
to university to learn
PoE. Exactly. Get a PhD in crafting. Like they want to be hardcore. They want to play the game a lot. They want to be efficient, but they just don't want to have like that hurdle of like, I need to like go to school before I can actually play the game. And I actually think that that's probably more of the audience that Path of Exile 2 is trying to target, rather than just like the people who just, you know, play like an hour a week or something like that. Not to say that those people shouldn't play the game, but I don't know if that's like necessarily the target audience.
I actually agree with you entirely. I exactly what you said is kind of how like my thought has changed as well. Because like I thought PoE 2 more casual. That's just like what it is. And then like I started talking to like a lot of people in my chat, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is all I do all day, and somehow these guys actually play more than I do. So it's like I definitely think there is a huge audience of PoE 2 players who are like really hardcore, and that's like, I would say even like close to like, maybe not as close to PoE 1 in terms of like how far they get into the game. But that's also why I was like, I think this chase item is good, because I know a lot of people who are like, look, I have like a couple hundred div, like my build is complete, and I just feel kind of like, why am I playing? Like I'm just running maps now to like run maps, and it just feels kind of like there's something lacking at the end game, right? Where it's like, sure, like I think right now a lot of people, especially because it's early league, right? You kind of are just starting, maybe you have like 10, 20 div of gear right now, and it feels like I'm in a really good spot. Like I feel strong, but I still feel like there's upgrades for me to go to. But then once you kind of get like, you know, if you kind of stay on this trajectory, like a week from now or 2 weeks from now, right? You're going to get to the point where it's like, oh shit, like my build is capped out. My next upgrade is like 200 div, and it's not really like really meaningful, you know? It's like now the number gets a little bit bigger, but like I'm still one-shotting mobs. Like what are my upgrades now? And I think someone like Rabbit, or maybe you like content creators who really like to make builds and like cook up new strategies, then your goal is like, oh, okay, like let's do a new build. But I think for most people, like me, like I have no interest in making builds really. Like maybe I'll make one or something like that, and it'd be fun. But I'm not trying to like respec my character over and over, you know. So like I think for people like me, and I think that's like a lot of people. Like a lot of people do like cooking up their own builds, but I think a lot of people just want to like fubgoon, you know, and just like play a build and like just get off of work or do whatever, or like maybe like wake up in the morning on a weekend and just like blast maps and like farm currency and like get those dopamine hits. You know what I mean? Kind of like Diablo 2. It's like, why is Diablo 2 so successful? Like there's like 3 builds in Diablo 2. It's been that way for 20 years. It's like you're playing Hammerden, you're playing Sork, or you're playing like Javazon or something like that, right? It's like you're playing those 3 builds. It's like there's not a lot of cooking going on, and every single one of them are using the same items. If you're not a Sork, you're using Enigma, you're going Shaco, you're going Griffin's Eye, like it's the same items everywhere, right? So I think a lot like that's kind of why I think this end game chase thing of like maybe like 1 or 2 uniques where like once you get it, it just changes the way you play the game in like a very, very like impactful way. Would be really good, because I think there is a pretty hardcore dedicated audience of PoE2 players who like Rabbit was saying, or like even though like the numbers were down, there's still like at the end league, there's still like 20,000 concurrent players every single day who've been probably playing the league since like the start, you know, who like at that point maybe like would want something that's like, oh, like I really want to farm like 500 div for this Temporalis, or I really want to farm 1,000 div for this Temporalis in order to like to get this build online or something like that. But at the same time, like I'm not saying that like what you're saying isn't legitimate, that like there is a huge drawback to having items like that, where it's like there's that feeling of FOMO where like if you're like a casual player, or if you're not like a giga hardcore sweat like I am, and you know that you'll never reach that goal, it would feel pretty bad, you know, to just be like, yeah, like Temporalis, like I'll never be able to get that ever. But that's kind of like what I'm saying for like, and it like, because I agree with everything you just said. But I would just argue that like that everything that you said is also a reason for why I think, you know, getting that end game chase would be really cool. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that's a lot of yap.
Any thoughts, Rabbit?
I wholeheartedly agree. I just heard Diablo 2 3 times in it, so I
added another one to the counter.
Yeah. Added another one to the counter. He fits in very well right now talking about Diablo 2. No,
love me Diablo
I just
2.
think like it's. I think we are just in a very, very, very good spot. I've used this like metaphor a lot before. I think PoE2 is like a very, very good foundation for an ARPG for like the future. We are still, in my opinion, I think in a few years we will definitely look back at this time on PoE2 as still like the baby steps, pretty obviously, since it's early access. I don't think that's like a hot take or whatever. I think the foundation is just amazing. In my opinion, like if you go top 3 ARPGs of all time, there is a very, very clear 1 and 2 in my opinion, and there is a PoE2 coming, like it inching with the potential of being. It's like the rookie NBA player that is already putting up some. He's putting up some numbers. He might not be getting like his team into the playoffs or whatever, but he's getting there. But there is still Michael Jordan, PoE1. There is still like LeBron, Diablo 2. Maybe we switch these around. I don't know. Michael Jordan is D2, I think. LeBron is PoE1.
Yeah.
Is that fine? Is that good with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
PoE2 is like Wemby.
And now we have like Wemby coming up. I was more thinking like Luka Doncic, but he's already like he's like
old now.
25. Oh, he's old now. Okay.
This is sports talk.
So I think like that is how good of a situation is that? And now having like the 4-month cycle on both PoE1 and PoE2, like if they keep giving PoE1 content as well, like what is there more to ask for? Like that's amazing, right? And I hope as someone who is concentrated, or as someone who is very, very committed to PoE2, just as a content creator and stuff, I hope they keep releasing like amazing content for PoE1, even though the likelihood of me playing it or engaging in like content or whatever isn't as high anymore. Just because I'm so committed to PoE2, I still hope they release like amazing content for PoE1, because why the fuck not? Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Why would I not want people to have fun in like an amazing RPG that is PoE1, which is like in my opinion, top 2 ARPG of all time. And it's just like to have a situation like that where it's like there's amazing stuff that we already have, and we now have the rookie player, to use the metaphor again, big sports guy by the way, to have the rookie player now coming up the rankings and stuff. It's amazing. And the potential PoE2 has, I don't think anyone, even people when complaining about PoE2, which I like or pointing out issues or whatever, which is like an important thing in actually getting stuff to be changed, like for stuff to be changed or for stuff to be improved, there has to be people who actually say, I don't like this, or like this is frustrating to me, or I've played PoE1 for 10 years and I like this system in PoE1. I wish it was more like in PoE2. That's a total normal thing, and that should happen. And that is the only way we get PoE2 to a stage where it's also going to be like where people in 10 years are going to be, damn, I miss PoE2 when PoE3 is coming out or whatever. And I think it's just all good, like, right?
Yeah, I agree entirely. I that's kind of like, I feel like I've been a little, I don't know, I hope I doesn't sound like too negative, because I would say like my league experience is like a 9 out of 10. Like I've been having so much fun. And like I do think it's important to kind of like constructive criticism. And I feel like, I don't know if this is something that you guys want to talk about, but I feel like for PoE2 specifically, I feel like a lot of time there's like a lot of unconstructive criticism about the game, where there's kind of like this weird, it kind of feels like there's this weird tribalism right now with PoE1 and PoE2.
Yeah.
Where like I feel like we should be more like, because I'm in the same boat as Rabbit. What's his face? And because I feel like PoE1, great. Like if it's a good game, I'll play it. I'll play it and have fun. If PoE2 is good, like better, then like I'll play both. Like that's awesome. This 4-month cycle thing is great. But for some reason, it feels like PoE1 players are like, fuck PoE2, PoE2 sucks, and then PoE2 players are like, fuck PoE1, PoE1 sucks, and there's like this weird tribalism where it's like the PoE2 players are criticizing PoE1 for shit that's kind of like fair, but it's not like constructive criticism. It's like PoE1 sucks because of this. Instead of just being like, yeah, like PoE1's a great game, but like I can't get into it because it's like a little bit too complicated at the beginning. And then people in PoE1 are kind of like, PoE2 sucks, the end game sucks, towers are shit, game is shit, poo 2, right? Or crafting Omega Wall. But I feel like instead they could just be like, oh yeah, like the crafting system, it needs work, like they need to change the system, like they need to add more currencies in, which they did, right? Or like the tower system, they need to change that. They need to make it more like Scarabs, which it did, but which like I hope they're going to do, right? But it just kind of feels like I hate that. I hate that it's just like so like them versus us with these two games. They're like the same game. You know what I mean?
Doesn't make sense.
Like they're this, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, when we're talking about like PoE1 versus PoE2, I really think that a lot of it is like it really exists a lot within like the community, of course, rather than like the streamer space. I feel like in general, from what I've seen, all of like the PoE1 streamers this time around have been pretty dang positive about the game. A lot of people are like, this is a great league, I can't stop playing. Like Sizz, I think, gave out like a 9 out of 10 or something for this league as well. Like it's been like, I think like it's like weird, right? Because like normally I feel like there's a lot of like people like rallying behind streamers and their opinions, but it feels like this time around there's really kind of like a weird, like, I don't know, group of people on each side that are really just like shitting on each other's games, which again is just doesn't make any sense, because both are good games and they technically both don't really like conflict with each other too much because of the season cycle. But, I think there is a lot of people who are like, yeah, one's taking development time away from the other, which I think is honestly, rather than like a problem with the game. I mean, I've always said this on my stream, and I think it's more of like, well, there's many reasons for it. People have pointed to like New Zealand law or whatever, right? But like, it's kind of like on GGG to be able to upscale to a point where they can support both games and like continue to develop both games at a pace that matches the previous and keeps up the quality. Because I mean, it's not like, Blizzard has any, well, maybe I don't know what we talk about Blizzard, but let's say Riot, right? It's not like Riot has problems like keeping all the Valorant and TFT and League of Legends and all that, right? They, when they get more games, they expand, they have new teams, people take over the games, and like, they basically upscale. But it seems like potentially GGG might have some issues with that. Maybe New Zealand, maybe not. I don't know.
I actually heard a funny story about that, where like apparently there's like one dev who like understands like the math and like it's kind of like a beautiful mind shit where like, you know, like the game is so complex, right? Everything is so connected. If you like fuck this thing up, like there's like, it's like an ecosystem, right? Like you add like the python into the ecosystem and like all these other animals die. And then you add something in to eat the python. And then like, because of that, like everything else gets fucked up. Like it's like so like finely balanced. Like apparently there's like 1 or 2 devs who like understand, like they're like savants who like understand like all the inner workings and how connected everything is. And that's why they're having such a big issue with like PoE 1 and PoE 2 is because it's like one guy who like is like the duct tape and bubblegum that's holding like the entire system together. And if you don't have him, then everything slows down because it's like, okay, we're gonna make this change, but like let's check with Tom to see if like this breaks everything. But it's like Tom is like trying to recreate the wheel with PoE 2. So I heard that's why they're having like big developmental issues because it's like so complicated that like even if you have a team of 100 people working on it, it might not be as efficient as if you have this one guy who just like gets it, you know. But I think I actually have like, because this is a question that like I'll ask because I was fortunate enough to like play both PoE 1 and PoE 2 recently, so I actually had a lot of PoE 1 players in my chat, and I know a couple PoE 1 streamers now, and I was asking them like, what's going on? Like, why do you guys hate PoE 2 so much? And like I was like, do you guys hate PoE 2? And like, if so, like why? And they were saying like, yeah, like we hate PoE 2. And the way they explained it to me was like, and it's not because the game is bad, because like honestly, PoE 2 is way better than like the other ARPGs out there right now that are comparable, right? Like they were saying like, I genuinely, unbiasedly, I think PoE 2 is better than Last Epoch. I think it's better than Grim Dawn. I think it's better than Diablo 4, like all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like number one or number two.
Yeah. And I was like, why do you guys hate it so much then? And they were just like, honestly, the reason why we hate it is because like, imagine like, you know, the game that you love is being destroyed. Like we didn't get a league for 1 year, right? And it's because of PoE 2. So like, that's why we hate it. And I was like, that's actually, I mean, that makes sense. Like, I think like their anger is misguided and like in the sense that like, you know, like they're mad at GGG, like, but like in a way it's like GG, like this game, PoE 2 is like what is destroying the game that they love and they think is perfect. For like a inferior version, like it's just like it makes sense why they have that misguided like anger towards PoE 2, but it's definitely a real thing. Like a lot of PoE 1 players really do hate PoE 2, and unfortunately, I hope like it gets to the point where PoE 2 is good enough where it's like worth it for them, and they could be like, oh, you know what, like PoE 2 is great, and like maybe if the 4-1 cycle is actually upheld, then you know they'll be able to kind of move on, and the community will heal.
It's such a tough thing to work around though, because I fully understand that. I fully understand that PoE 1 is as close to a perfect game in my opinion as it gets. Like I played PoE 1 for thousands and thousands of hours. I was heavily addicted for years to PoE 1. For me, just like my personal opinion, it is as close to a perfect ARPG as you can get. Like 99.5 out of 100% in my opinion. I do still kind of think that you do still want to at least try to evolve, and with the way it is right now with PoE 2, trying to actually make it work to get both games like from the ground up and giving them content. I fully understand how the whole thing about not getting a leak for 1 year and stuff that understandably made people angry and stuff, because like if I was at that time still a full-time PoE 1 streamer or whatever, I would have been pissed too. I can tell you right now, I would have been for sure pissed the fuck off too. Like it's super hard. It's super hard to balance, right? Because I think most people will not say no when you ask them to. But do you still kind of want maybe the game to at least try to evolve to a new stage or whatever, or to try something new? And I think just like most people would say yes. But I understand. I fully understand where the friction is coming from. What I don't understand is like you said, the tribalism, because it gets so weird at times, like the whole tribalism and But what can we do?
I think like the anger.
Yeah, I think if both games, and like I said, I really hope that PoE 1 gets a fucking amazing leak now again, and people are gonna be happy about that. I think it's just like, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want both games to fucking thrive and be awesome for the people playing it? Who doesn't want that? I don't get it. And then
Villains,
there's gonna be
that's who.
then there's gonna be criticism towards PoE1 from players who like. There's gonna be constructive criticism, or sometimes even not even constructive criticism, and the same goes for PoE2. And that is how games evolve and change, and communities evolve and whatever. Like, I don't know what's so hard about that.
I agree. And you can even argue that like last epoch is the reason why we have asynchronous trade right now, right? Because of the competition, because people played last epoch and they have like trade systems that are like asynchronous trade, or they have, and I'm pretty sure they have like almost, is it the exact same, or is it's slightly different? But like it's a very similar asynchronous trade method or system, and people were like, "This is awesome," and like people like were really like flocking like LE for like a week or two, and it just feels like having competition in this game is like a good thing. You know, it pushes the companies to like do better and to innovate or to evolve and adapt like the environment. And I think once async is in PoE2 and it's been so well received, and now it's going to be in PoE1. You know, so it's like. You're right. It's not like a zero-sum game. In fact, it's a situation where if one game benefits, the other one will also benefit as well. Like it raises each other up. But people are kind of treating it like it's zero-sum. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's not a competition either. Again, I don't think GGG has ever wanted it to be a competition. I don't think any of the players should want it to be a competition between the two games. It's like so weird whenever I see like, and it's even not even during like the tribalism stuff. Like there's so many people that are like, you know, PoE1 should shut down because it's like the older game or whatever. It's like, oh, it's 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15-year-old game. Oh, PoE2 should shut down because it sucks. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's like,
yeah, just kill grandma. Just kill grandma right now. She has this.
Take her out back.
Just get the shotgun out. Grandma.
Take her out the back.
Grandma, just. Yeah, you did good for like 90 years. No one like what?
Crazy. I feel like people say, yeah, there's the craziest. I feel like there's something wrong with people on the internet these days. Was it this bad when we were kids? I don't remember, but like there's just like a lot of comments and I'm like, what the fuck is Blood talking about here? Like I don't understand how these are connected.
Yeah, it's actually insane. I don't know, but I think that overall it's just like you said. You know, I think. Maybe now, maybe later, but at some point we definitely need to have a little bit of healing within the community. And I do think that there was a little bit of a period for, you know, that where it got kind of bad, but, you know, I think right now things are kind of calmed down a little bit more. And, you know, I think.
I'm sorry.
No, go.
No. I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought you were pausing. Please continue. My bad.
I'm done. Don't worry about it.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, I feel like the healing is happening now, honestly. Like if you look on every time I check Twitch, right, it's like all these PoE1 streamers are still playing PoE2. You know, like last league, it was like everyone was like done. At this point, people were just like, this is the point in the league where people were making YouTube videos like, this is why I'm quitting the PoE2 league. You know, but like now it's like, I think the healing is happening now. PoE1 just had a really good league that attracted a lot of PoE2 players. And then PoE2 is having a really good league now that I think is attracting a lot of PoE1 players. And it's kind of just like, once we just kind of get the little, like the intermixing, you know, like once we kind of get that like overlap, then it's just going to be like the marriage between the games. Then I think everyone's going to buy in and it's going to start to heal. But like, I think even at the beginning of this league, there was a lot of negative like commentary from PoE1 players, right? Understandably, because it's like they have all this negative bias towards the game, and every time something went wrong, like I won't say who, but like I remember I watched a clip of this like really popular streamer being like, this is the worst PoE2 league I've ever played. And I was like, fuck, you know, like it's happening again. And then, but like I read the comments and everyone in the comments was like, bro, what are you talking about? This league is awesome. Like I'm a PoE1 player. This league is actually insanely fun. Like, what are you on about? You know? So like, I think this is the league where like everything starts like to kind of like where the healing happens and people are kind of like, you know what? PoE2 is actually pretty good. And then the last league was the league where like a lot of PoE2 players were like, wow, PoE1 is a great league. Like it's a great game. Like I really like it. And then once that starts happening, I think it's just Jover for the other games because
he's got number one and number two here, taking everything.
Exactly. Big bro, little bro, like the duo.
I think what we learned from that is just maybe not take the 20-second clips for sure anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, the clips channel were definitely like, yeah. I mean, I think that everybody has commented at this. Like I remember seeing Ziz posting on Twitter as well, but the Eclipse channels definitely did quite a bit of damage this league.
Oh, really? You think so? Okay, I got you. Okay, because I don't really watch them that much. I just saw like it was like a short that popped up on my feed that was like this guy, and I was like, oh, this guy's like he's like a more casual player, and he was just like commenting on it. So I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I'll see like what this guy thinks, and I was just like, ooh. But was there kind of like a drama? Like were they like stirring shit up and like clipping out of context and like?
There was a lot of that, and like
I mean,
even Ziz commented like, I don't know why, like, you know, yeah, these clips are making me seem like I hate the league, but I'm not. I actually like the league so much.
Got you.
But yeah,
it's the media.
Mm-hmm. I think they're
the mainstream media.
Those fucks.
I think they're like, you know, keeping it more reeled in now after kind of, you know, people started yelling at them. But it was definitely a little bit rougher, you know, probably like a week or so, like a couple days or so at the beginning of the league. Which is unfortunate because like that's kind of like when a lot of like the new players come in. So especially during the free weekend. So the fact that happened is like kind of unfortunate. We had a lot of players playing. Like I think it was like 300,000 or something on Steam, but potentially could have been more.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have time for our last topics?
Yeah,
I was looking for you guys.
I can keep going for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we already talked about it a little bit. I think I already mentioned it, but it's a interesting discussion because I think Miso already uploaded a video on that topic as well, and we just now talked about it a little as well. Constricting Command now, is it Deepest Tower 2.0 or what actually do we? Is it too powerful? Has it made its way into too many builds, or is it just a toned down version of Deepest Tower? Is it actually something that can be build enabling for a lot of builds that might not be as good without it? That would be my question to pose to you guys.
I mean, I was talking about it a little bit earlier, but I think it's definitely really, really powerful. Let's be real, right? It gives you so many stats. I had like a list of it written down somewhere. It was absolutely ridiculous. And I'd say in terms of like the total amount of stuff it gives, I'd argue maybe it even gives more than what Deepest Tower gave. Like Deepest Tower, it gave damage, right? But this gives you everything. It gives you damage. It gives you attack speed, movement speed, armor, evasion, everything, right? Granted, it is over 19 nodes, which is quite a bit compared to Deepest Tower, which you could get like maximum, like almost maximum efficiency off of just like what I think it was like 6 or 7 nodes or something like that. But it's ridiculous how much this gives, and I don't know. I haven't really been like too tapped into like the super meta yet. I've been really just like hunkered down into like my Hollow Palm stuff and really just trying to figure everything out there. So I haven't really reached too much outside of it. But are people mostly just grabbing every single node, or are they just kind of like picking and choosing like, oh, this one's really good for my build, this one's not, like that?
I think there is a few nodes that are not meant like 100% always gonna be taken. But there is quite a few that are just absolutely insane and very, very good. I think of the 19 nodes, it's probably like 15 that most people will always take. I just checked PV2 Ninja as well. It's actually not as bad as I would have thought, because like even if the Deadeye players are using it, the Constricting Command only has a 9% of players using it, actually. That's not too bad. Yeah. That's even below Ingenuity.
The issue with that though is because I think that's the reason why that's so low is because Fubgun just switched to it recently. So
the Fubgun effect.
If you give it a couple more days, I guarantee that number is going to go up. But at the same time, I think that it is too broken. Yeah, it's just like the numbers can lie in some ways, but it's more of like an end game build because it's like. You kind of fuck some of your, because you don't have a helmet, right? Like helmets are pretty big in terms of like getting like defensive stats and resistances on there. But I think that's a build that like a lot of people are going to start transitioning to once they get more money because, yeah. So I think it is insanely powerful. Like if people are literally like, like literally going cross country around the map in order to spec into it on like most builds. And it just gives you stats that are that everybody wants, and also that are versatile, like Miso said, right? Like you get a bunch of different shit, which is awesome. It's like a jack of all trades, but it also gives you access to nodes that are incredibly powerful and rare. Like there are only a handful of movement speed nodes on the tree, right? So it's movement speed is one of the movement speed in PoE2, mobility is one of the few stats that it's so rare and so valuable because there's so few places that you can get it, right? So I think it is giga broken, and I think it's the same thing, yeah, as last league, where it's just it's too powerful. I think if you have Rabbit over here trying to literally go cross country from the farthest point in the tree to try and spec into this on his is it a Lich build or something, then yeah,
I'm planning a Lich crossbow build, and that will be using that. Yes.
Oh, are you doing the new bow, the Lament thing?
Yeah, that was already something I did in 0.2. We're gonna actually talk about it on the build of the week because that's my submission for build of the week. It's already something that people obviously discovered in 0.2 when the last Lament was discovered, because Lich has obviously the upside of not having the life cost for the last Lament.
Right.
I think someone, which is my build of the week, has already done a very, very good version of it. I kind of want to see how far you can take it. I think the Lich Ascendancy overall has some nice stuff this league that might be overlooked a little bit. So yeah, but yeah, one of the build enabling things in that build that I'm planning is Constricting Command, because it's just I need to go down to the crossbow stuff anyway on the bottom. So why not go the surrounded nodes?
But would you go Constricting Command on a builds that's not going down to the crossbow stuff? I don't know. For example, again, last league, it really felt like everybody was going Deepest Tower no matter what build you were kind of using. But yeah.
I mean, it's mostly attack stuff, right? The surrounded nodes I kind of mostly, it's attack stuff, right? So casters, I think already are kind of excluded from that because, it's mostly
the casters skip it entirely. The Lance build, the Blood Mage build, they pass down there anyways for gem enthusiasts, and they skip the nodes. They have the option to get it for free pretty much, and they just don't take it.
Yeah, yeah, it's just it's accuracy rating, movement speed, attack damage, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's just looking at the nodes again, it's definitely not as powerful as Deepest Tower, by the way. 100% not. Last league when I made the Titan crossbow thing with just using the Titan Ascendancy of Hulking form in tandem with the Deepest Tower nodes, that was I think over 400% just on these nodes. And yeah, obviously that's not the case here, which is kind of good. So maybe just thinking about it, maybe it's maybe they just managed to find a way to make a Deepest Tower type item, but not have it completely busted like that. So yeah.
Also, there's a point to be made that having OP stuff in the game is good, right? You want to have OP stuff in the game as long as it's not the same OP shit every single league, right? I think the whole point of these kind of games is you want to find the OP shit. And then like crafting as well, right? It's you want to find the OP way to craft, this crafting method, but you don't want it to be the same thing every single league, right? And I think what you're talking about, it's they found an OP crafting thing or an OP tree thing, and they nerfed it a little bit, or they changed it a little bit. It's different now, different requirements, also perhaps not as strong. And I think that kind of system is not a bad thing for the game. When I say it's OP, I don't mean we gotta nerf it, we gotta change it, this is bad design. I mean this is just really good. Almost every build that's attack based is gonna use this to a certain degree. But is that a bad thing? I don't think so. I think it's good to have OP shit in the game.
Yeah, I mean I agree to an extent, but I think GGG is it has a history of taking anything that is even seen remotely as OP and potentially just nerfing it to the ground, which actually kind of leads me into a discussion that I wanted to have about nerfs and stuff, because it's really interesting what they did this patch with how they roll out the patch notes and what happened afterwards, because they rolled out the patch notes a week and a half before the game came out, and then we all read it. We were all excited about these things. We all started cooking up potential builds. And then out of nowhere, they decided, hey, let's have a couple like, smaller patches afterwards and completely flip some builds, on its head. Just like nerf, like, what is it? Snap got nerfed a lot, and like they completely changed out how evasion worked. They removed certain gems that people were thinking were gonna work. Like, do you think that GGG were watching people and like theory craft their builds and were like, oh god, this was way too OP. We got to get rid of this.
I think in parts, yes. I think in parts, yes, but mostly no. Because if that would be the case, then I would have been nerfed. Because everyone, like a week before,
they did get nerfed.
A week before,
Not really.
Yeah, the mark stuff.
There was a little
stuff.
It was nothing though. Yeah.
Now, if they actually did watching like the stream, that I would have been nerfed, because everyone like a week before was already going like, yeah, Deadeye is just gonna be fucking insane. Like, I did a tier list video as well to like make some easy content, I guess, and even I said, even though I didn't even have a single ounce of like planning to start Deadeye or whatever, I even said, like, yeah, it's for sure gonna get nerfed. I think everyone, I think, kind of expected that. So I don't think they're just going off by that. The exception, though, is Zhang. I actually think they they actually targeted Zhang on that one. I forgot what he found, but he found like an infinite damage type thing.
Acidic concoction.
Wanted to leak. Yeah, I think so, right?
Well, acidic concoction is actually ridiculous.
I think even
right
during
now.
his stream or something. I think even during his stream or something, they already nerfed it. So, yeah, maybe we like in 0.4 when we find something really really OP or something we expect to be nerfed, we just don't talk about it.
Yeah, let's just
don't talk about it. Maybe. Yeah.
I mean,
I think one.
No, I was just gonna say, I think that kind of like leads to like some really bad, I guess, I don't know, habits or like practices from people. Like at that point, I think maybe it should just even be a thing of like, maybe they just don't release it at all, because like it sucks to have those people just be like, I can't share this build, or like, I don't know, like,
yeah, no,
it sucks for the community
as well.
I guess it's always for the community.
Yeah. People should always share like the insane builds, like for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I think one thing that they could have done though, like, because build diversity was really bad, right? Like that was like that's been a big complaint, is like LA blah blah blah. But like at the same time, like if you've seen that like that Lich fucking Last Lament build, that shit is like it's very very good as well. Like it's like it's close. That's like the closest build I've seen to like the Deadeye mobility and clear stuff. But I think an issue that they had is like they released the patch notes for the tree like 3 hours before the launch. Was that how?
Something
maybe
like
even
that.
less,
Yeah.
right? Like, how are you supposed to cook up a build in 3 hours, right? You can't. Like, so like there's all this theory crafting on like, oh, like this might be good, but like all the theory crafting was based off of builds that already existed, right? Mm-hmm. Like if they give us that little time to, like, not us, by us I don't mean me, because I'm not the one. I'm not the cook I'm not the chef in the kitchen making these builds. But if they don't give the chefs enough time to cook the builds, then we're going to be stuck with this system of like, everyone's just going to do the safe option of, I know LA Deadeye last league was good. It didn't get nerfed that much and it actually got buffed, right? Then like, I'm just going to play this. Or I know ED Contagion was good last league. It got buffed. I'm just going to play that. But it's like, there's like no other, like there's no, when they set it up like this, where like you have the patch notes 3 hours before the launch, it doesn't give people the option to like actually cook and actually create good builds, because no one wants to take that risk. Because it's like, yeah, I might have like the best idea in the world, but then like, yeah, I log in, I look at the stats, and it's like, oh shit, like spaghettification has minus 23% on the tree.
That didn't actually happen. That didn't. I
know, but like you look and you see that, and you're just like, oh shit, like my entire build is like out the window, right? Like there's no incentive for you to cook. In fact, there's huge incentives for you to do the safe conservative play of just doing what's known. You see what I'm saying? Like I think that's the reason why there's so little build diversity at the start, and then like now it's like 10 days in, and it's like all these really cool builds are popping up because people now have had like time to actually look at the tree and figure and theory craft things.
Yeah, I mean, the main reason why LA is so popular now is probably because people looked at like, I was playing for 0.2, the last like almost 2 months, I was playing LA because it was just so good. And I think like in 0.2, the popularity of LA just skyrocketed towards the end of the league because everyone realized how good it is. And then, yeah, it's exactly what you said. People most likely just looked at what's good right now, what's not, mostly if everything is unchanged. And I said it in 0.2 as well when people ask me, what are you going to league start next league or something? Or I mostly said, like, in a world where nothing is changing here in terms of balance, it's just going to be Lightning Arrow. But so, yeah, me so sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say it's really funny that you say that, Farmer, because I don't know if you've listened to the podcast at all, but on the Blastcast, I think Rue was basically said the same exact thing, that, like, you know, because they nerfed all, like, or because they of all this stuff beforehand, right, of them nerfing builds / like not releasing the tree that until so late, people just ended up gravitating towards like the safe options of Lightning Spear, ED Contagion, and that really harmed the build diversity for this league. And I don't know, part of, like, before our conversation today, because I didn't really exactly know how Lightning Arrow worked, that's how little I care about playing that build. I was like, you know, maybe we could have had a lot more diversity if, like, they didn't do that. Maybe if they, like, you know, released everything on one day and didn't change a bunch of stuff, people could have cooked a bunch of builds and, like, there would have been more diversity. Though now I think that, given our conversation, Lightning Arrow is just that strong that everybody was probably going to gravitate towards anyways. But I think, you know, there might have been a little bit more diversity at the end of the day. But I mean, beyond that, also, I do think that a big part of it has to do with, like, the campaign, like, diversity of builds, which I feel like kind of sucks this league. Like, I feel like so far from what I've seen, a lot of the things people tried in the campaign didn't end up working. Like, just like the stuff that was like Lightning Arrow, ED Contagion, Hollow Palm, like those worked. But like outside of those, I'm sure there's like plenty of other stuff that worked too. But like there was from what I could tell, a lack of diversity in campaign. Now, end game, I think you can make a lot of things work. But in the campaign, the balance seemed to be quite a bit off. Some people were struggling real hard.
I agree entirely. Like, ED Contagion campaign is so fucking broken. Like Rabbit said, you just like, you clear mobs, like it's, you're always like at level with the zone because you just clear mobs for free. You know, you press 2 abilities and you guarantee one shot everything, and then like for a rare mob, you probably have to like just throw one more ED on it and then you're good. But I think most builds weren't having that same like smoothness towards their campaign at all. Even Lightning Arrow, it was like kind of sketchy for like the first, you know, few acts, I think, before you get your twin bow in Act 2. It just feels like the damage is kind of weak for like clearing packs and stuff like that. Less so with Charged Arrow, but because I remember like there was people like were doing like Stormcaller Arrow at first, and that was like really sketchy in the campaign. But I definitely agree with you. I think that's a huge issue as well, is that like a lot of people probably, like, if you didn't start like ED, or like if you didn't start Witch with like ED Contagion or like Lightning Arrow, it probably felt like, or like Hollow Palm, it probably felt like, oof, like this campaign is rough and maybe I should respec, you know?
I mean, we literally had Jung Roan and I forget who else had just like destroy the characters. They actually deleted their character.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned this as well, like earlier. I like fully understand the frustration. It's just like I want it to be in the future as well, where it's more gonna be like you're actually gonna be able to test something new and not just be completely like prohibited from playing the campaign, kinda, right? I want there to be a world where you can just maybe cook up your own like idea when it comes to like which skill to use in a campaign, and it, like, at least there is always going to be stuff that might not work, or people are not able to make it work or whatever. But I feel like if Jung or like Ru or whatever can make a skill work in campaign, maybe that's on the skill then.
Yeah, it's probably not happening.
Yeah, right. So we definitely had a situation here where there were a few builds that are just very good at campaign, and most other stuff just looked bad in comparison, I think.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, right? Hopefully that they end up fixing a lot of the balance issues in the campaign. Like, do you guys like? I was having again another conversation I was having on stream. Like, do you guys? It feels like it's been an awfully quiet, this league so far. And granted, it's only been a week, but like I feel like last league and even 0.1, they were pretty active for the first week to 2 weeks, where they were implementing like relatively decently sized updates, every couple days. Now, granted, last league, it really was like things were really on fire, I guess. So that probably helped out with why they needed to do all these updates. But in 0.1, they were, already nerfing things out the gate, right? I wonder, like, do you guys think that they are right now just not updated, like not giving us as frequent updates because of like how good and at least people feel? Or do you guys think that they're just kind of cooking something big?
I think there's going to be the 0.31. I think that's most likely what's going to, just in my opinion, I think there's going to be a 0.31, and then the focus is going to be PV1, I think. Naturally.
Yeah, 0.31. They're going to fix towers.
Copium. Oh my God.
They already said that's
Copium.
not happening.
Well,
They already said the next league. They said in the interview with ZGD after the reveal and stuff, they already said like this league was supposed to fix like the stuff that they wanted to fix now, and next league is going to be the end game league, the end game fix league.
Well, so they did confirm that they're not going to touch towers until next league.
As I understood it in the interview, yes.
Because I mean, I was hoping like maybe they're like, I can't trust them. I was hoping that maybe like they would be like, you know what? We understand that 0.4 is the end game league, but we do feel like towers are like kind of a really big problem. Maybe we'll do like a mid league. Here's like a change in the towers. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm hoping too much, but I would have loved to have seen that.
I'm in the same book. I'm in the same page with you. I 100% believe they're gonna patch towers. It's gonna be saved. We're Bing Chiling. Because like I mean, like, come on, like there's like so many things they could do that are like quick and easy that would make towers not fixed, but just like a lot better.
Yeah. I said it as well. Like I never really got it. I'm not acting like I know all the answers. Like I could never like do what GGG does in terms of like I'm very good at finding problems. I'm not good at solving problems. So I think GGG is much better than most people in the community at actually solving the problems the community has. But in terms of towers, I'm on the same page as you here. Like, I feel like it's just, why not just have like just as a like quick fix? I get that probably the system instead of towers they're doing is going to be much more broad and much more nicer and whatever. But just like as a quick fix, why not just like have one tower instead of an overlap, and we just go somewhere? It's one tower. It's triple as strong as like a 3 tower, like a tower now. It's basically like a triple tower setup, but it's one tower. I put breach in. I play breach for the next 30 maps, and if I don't want to play breach, I go in the other direction to the other tower. One tower, not me looking for overlaps.
My solution to that is just you do one tower, and if you still want there to be like some RNG element, because it's like, oh, you get 3 towers POG, right? You can just do one tower, and then just like you triple the number of tablets you can put in, or like double the number of tablets. You can put in 6 tablets in one tower. You can no longer overlap, right? And then like you can there's be some variance. Like some towers have like 7 and some towers have 5. And if you get really lucky, you get like a tower with 8. Like that way you don't have to just like keep searching for like, triple tower overlaps that are really rare. So it like just reduces the variance a little bit. But like I agree, like there's a lot of simple fixes. Like a one tower system would work very, very well and would solve a lot of problems, and just like not all the problems, right? They don't need to fix the system. They just need to make it a little bit better, right? I think that's all people really want. I agree.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like that solution might still be but introducing potentially the same thing. Then you're like ditching like the 6 ones or the 6 ones, and you want to go for the 9 ones. Like, I mean, I know what you're saying, right? It's like reduce the variance, right? Basically, right now it's way too rare to find a 3 tower setup. Like maybe like the 3 tower setup isn't like the worst thing, but the fact that it's so rare makes it, way more unbearable, right? I still don't think that it should exist. But at the same time, if they were more common, I think there would be a lot less complaints about it, right?
Another problem is that like the 3-tower setup, like how many maps are you actually going to get overlapped with 3 towers? Like you're only getting like a lot of times you're only getting like 5 or 6 towers overlapped, right? So, or sorry, 5 or 6 maps overlapped. So it's like, I just think there's like so many little things, like so many like, there's like so many options for like one change that they can make that would just improve it significantly. And obviously it wouldn't fix all the problems, right? And like they have like these design philosophies that they want to stand by that would still like be within like the vision. And just, you know, give it a little boost, make it a little bit better, not fixing everything. I feel like that's my cope rage, is that they're going to do something like that for 0.31. Yeah, is that they'll do like a little boost.
I agree. I hope that they'll do just a little bit. Again, it's early access, right? This is the time to like, you know, do these like little tiny fixes or experiments. This might not be like the end of the day, but hey, we think that this little change is like, you know, is what we have time for. And we're going to give it to you guys because, you know, you guys seem to really want it. And we think it could be a nice little Band-Aid fix, right? Just like what they did with checkpoints and maps.
Exactly.
Which, like, by the way, I wonder if they're going to get rid of them.
Copium. I think
it's stop saying Copium.
I'm saying yes.
Something, Rabbit.
It's gonna change. It's gonna change, but it's gonna be most likely in 0.4. I think for 0.3, we are where we at, and I think they should like get a good PoE1 league going. I guess that's probably the priority, which I very, very much understand.
Here's my theory: if enough people cope believe hard enough, then like it adds pressure on GG to actually make your memes be or make your dreams not be memes. Right. Yeah, like we got like 10,000 people.
Everybody here listening to the Path of Exile podcast.
He's just like seizing from all of the fucking power that we're putting on him.
He's just laying in bed and then he's just gonna be like, Mike, we have to fix towers.
I can't take it anymore.
I'm waking up in the middle of the night because of all this. I can't go to sleep.
Like the Undertaker rising from the grave. Just being like, yeah.
No, we're never going to get Jonathan on the podcast.
Fixed. Towers fixed soon.
You heard it here first.
That's what you heard it here first. We converted the non-believer rabbit.
GGG employees. Yes.
My dad works there.
Yeah. I always think that is super, super funny. I don't know. You guys are both streamers as well. I always think that's super, super funny. Like that type of questions. I get all types of questions in my chat every day. And that I realize that is part of my job and whatever. The funniest thing though is when people think I'm a GGG employee kinda and go like, yeah, like I have this bug here, and when I go onto my account side, how do I fix this? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Or that's
like,
always such a funny one to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how do I get out?
Like, yeah, I converted my premium tab to a merchant tab and it doesn't work. Like, what the fuck, Rabbit? Why is that? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm like, brother, I haven't left my hideout in a week and a half. Okay, like what even is a map? Like, I got no clue, man.
I haven't even seen the sun. Like, I'm just playing myself.
Do people ask you for build advice, Farmer?
Yeah. They'll be like, oh, I'm playing like LA. Like, I don't do enough damage. Like, what do I do to like what am I doing wrong with my tree? I'm like, brother, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what a tree is. Okay, I like if you ask me about the items, I can maybe tell you, but like I've got no clue about the build. But it is what it is, right? They probably just like are looking for like a smaller streamer who will answer their questions, and they're just like going to like a bunch of different channels and then just like typing that message in.
And you're just being an asshole to them.
Well, they'll ask that, and everyone in the chat will just be like, "This is the wrong place for that question."
This guy knows nothing about that. Go find somebody else. Go talk to Rabbit or something.
Ask him about ways to make money. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'll tell you in a week when I made all of my money."
Okay. I think give me 2 days. Give me like 2 days.
2 days. Okay.
Let me eat a little first, you know.
Speaking of making money, do you guys see the Alch Go thing that MP posted?
No, what was it?
Huh?
I'm surprised you guys haven't heard it. It was crazy. Well, it's over now. The craze is over, and you can't do it anymore because people have caught on. But MP posted this video called Alch and Go, which usually means maps alching and going. But apparently, people were selling uniques for an Alch orb on the market, and you could just juice those into chance shards, and you're making like 250x an hour just from doing that.
It's the Rage Gaming armor scrap thing, but with chance orbs. Do you guys remember that, the Rage Gaming armor scrap?
I do.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but like you just do it with fight chance orbs. Yeah. It's a method.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah.
I mean, it actually gave profits. I don't know about the Rage Gaming one. I don't think that one ever, ended up giving people profits.
That's true. But he was actually telling me about that because I was like, we were working on a craft together, me and him, and he was kind of telling me about the method. And I was like, this is just the Rage Gaming method. But he was like, no, you actually make money on it. And I was like, oh, okay, shit, that makes sense. Because like, what is it like? Chance orbs are like 8 or 9x, right? So every single chance shard you get is like worth an X, right? So you theoretically could convert your money pretty quickly there.
Yeah, I think he was at some point in the video, he was saying like, even if you buy them for 5 Alchs each, you're still making like double the profit that you would.
Yeah.
So it's kind of insane, but you do lose out on a lot of gold. But I think the well is dried up on that. Everybody has gotten to it now, and even while he was making the video, he's like, "Whoa, there were like 10,000 uniques here. Now there's only like 20."
The one guy doing the thread before the MP video was like, "What the fuck?
My margins. My margins.
Thank God. It's like the one guy. It's like the one guy crafting boots before the Lance video, or the one guy crafting wands before the Lance video. Like, hey, why are you doing that to me?
I got lanced on that one for sure. Like I was doing those boots.
I got farmered. You did. You made a video on chaos wands on exactly the thing that I was doing for like a week.
Those. You were done with those.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah, you were done.
I sold the last chaos one today.
Oh shit. Well, the new game with the chaos wands is you just snipe them for really cheap, and then you just sell the base. That's what I've been doing. Like I
can't snipe them because I live in Europe. Like it takes me like 14 business days to get to a hideout, and once I am in the hideout, there's like 14 different names already who have already left the hideout. How am I supposed to snipe anything?
And one of those names is X the Farmer X. I swear to God, I sniped 5 wands, and then as I'm leaving, I'll see Dead Rabbit Twitch has entered the area, and then I'll just link him the wand, and he'll be like, "What the fuck?" That's a get good situation, honestly. Skill diff, like you can blame ping or like whatever, but like, come on, old man hands is the issue here.
I'm gonna move to Texas. I'm telling you, I'm gonna move to Texas, and I'm just gonna copy your loot filters, not loot filters, your trade filters, and I'm just gonna be like, there we go. And I'm gonna name my character in the league. I'm gonna name it Old Man Hands Farmer, and then it's just gonna be over. It's just gonna be over.
I'm gonna move to Germany, so like I actually have a challenge sniping these wands. Like it's just too easy right now. Yeah, honestly, like give me like something hard. Like I'm actually fighting like 30,000 bots every single night just to get these wands and also Rabbit. So
yeah,
that guy doesn't matter though. Bots are the real competition.
Yeah. Rabbit is like the seeing Rabbit come into the hideout after I already grabbed the wand. It's like. Wow,
I'm just there to be like, good job, guys. Good job, guys. You did so well. Damn, you guys did so well. Nice.
I'm gonna get it next time.
I hope that one is amazing.
Okay, let's move on to I guess the last section, which is the build of the week. I know that we were talking about it, giving us a little sneak preview about Rabbit build of the week, but the last Lament. Lich, right? I'm gonna put it on in the background, and while we watch that, you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yes, like I said already, when Last Lament was released last league, there was already a few people obviously gravitating towards using Last Lament on a Lich, because the big downside on Last Lament is that you lose life instead of reloading, and people obviously figured like, oh yeah, damn, Lich is going to be perfect for that then. And I think Farham was one of the first people I saw last league doing that. I did it a little bit, and I tried to cook up a build for it last league, but I was kind of a little bit underwhelmed with the performance and whatever. And then this league so far, I think the first big popularized, at least on YouTube, video was from a few days ago from Sauza on YouTube here, who made use of the low life tech basically. So not only he's not going Constricting Command, by the way, he's going with the low life tech that I'm using on my Lich as well right now on the Edict Contagion build. A lot of the strength on that build is coming from the thing that you do with the low life trick, because as if people don't know, the Lich has a ascendancy node that is Eternal Life, which says your life cannot change while you have energy shield. So there is a trick that you lose all your energy shield with either the Mask of the Stitch Demon, or you do something with like Chaos Inoculation. I personally always use the Visage of Ayaya for it. So and then you can lock your life basically at less than 35%, so you're always low life. And there's a bunch of nodes on the passive tree that make your character better when you are low life. But in my opinion, the biggest reason to use that one right now is the new Execute support gem. Execute support gem before was like 30% more damage against enemies that are low life. The new Execute 3 support gem is now 30% more damage when you are low life as well. So not only do you get 30% more damage on enemies that are low life, but also you get 30% damage just like overall when you are low life. Also now there's a new rune in the game, Tekrod's Gaze, where you get 10% movement speed on boots when you're low life. So if you have 100% increased movement speed boots, that's just a 20% increased movement speed right there. There are a bunch of nodes on the passive tree again for attack damage as well. So he's making use of all of those on this build. I think it's an awesome approach. I think it is the best iteration of the build that I've seen so far this league, and it made me something, since I really like the Lich Ascendancy. Lich is probably my favorite Ascendancy in the game, so I obviously always want to try to make a Lich build first. And that is why I think this one was very, very interesting. It's probably something that I will go into next. What we need to say though is, I think he did a budget version just now for like 15 div or whatever. What you're seeing on the screen right now on his build, that is extremely fucking expensive. Like very, very expensive. It's using Headhunter, which is like at least 50 div. It's using Death Articulated, which is at least like 30 to 40, 50 div. And it's also using like you have to get like the reses. To get the reses is gonna be pretty expensive. And yeah, I think he's also using like a very, very good what is the new gem called? Like Abyss gem, whatever. And yeah, very, very expensive. You can probably do it on a lower budget. Awesome build though. That is my yep on that build. And you will probably see a version of mine very, very soon on that.
Ah, nice. Well, I guess people should keep their eyes out for when you do it, because it's is it gonna be as expensive, or is it gonna be more budget friendly?
Both. I mostly when I do builds like this, I first go with the min-max approach to see what it actually can do on the top end, because I feel like that is a better pace to start with than on the lower end, and then you try to replicate it on the lower end, I think, in my opinion.
It's also kind of crazy to think about, like how 15, like you said, there's a budget version with 15 div. I feel like I don't know, this league currency has just been raining. Like it's kind of crazy. I was making multiple div builds like on day 3 or something like that, which I'm like, oh, what? And it's
with
like people
Abyss
are like,
and everything.
Yeah, people are like, oh yeah, this is like 1 div a piece. It's real cheap.
Yeah. Misa, what do you think? Like,
make...
Oh, sorry.
No, go.
I was going to say, like, what do you think, like, the average, not the average player, because, like, the average player is, like, the argument is, like, the average player is still in campaign. But, like, what do you think the average player that's, like, say, for example, sweaty enough to be, like, watching streamers or, like, watching YouTube videos, because, like, the actual average player just plays the game raw dog, like, no YouTube video, no stream, like, they're not watching a stream to, like, figure out a build or anything like that or ask questions. They're just, like, doing it themselves. But like, what do you think? Like, I guess like the average like Twitch chat like player like has invested in like their gear or like has as like a net worth for their account.
I mean, I'd probably feel like probably around me, to be honest, which is like maybe like a div to 3 div per piece, maybe. Is probably
Okay.
where they're at, the average player, but at least the ones hanging out on Twitch. I think like you said, right? The actual average player is probably way below that. But I do think a lot of the people who are hanging out on Twitch are probably the more hardcore audience, the more dedicated audience. And as a result, I do think they're probably investing probably around 1 to 3, 1 to 5 div on each of their pieces of gear.
Gotcha.
And just doing tier 15s and kind of farming it that way.
Got you. Cool.
Yeah. But that's very like I don't know. The Lich build was, like you said, I think we talked about it earlier, it's like pretty dang fast. Definitely don't know if it's as fast as like Lightning Arrow though, because it doesn't have like the Nova stuff, right? The Nova stuff is just crazy. But there's that build. The build that I want to showcase is going to be this. Well, it isn't really this person's build. This was one of the people that I was watching today. So this guy, Path of Exile, made this video about the acidic concoction. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is definitely not a blaster build by any means. I mean, you could make it a blaster build. But the acidic concoction right now is in an interesting place. Because I don't know if you can see it on my screen, but the bosses are getting absolutely melted. Right now, acidic concoction is ridiculous, and it might be bugged. It might not be bugged, but acidic concoction, basically what it does is it's supposed to take the poisons that you put onto the enemy and consume them and do all the damage at once. Now, what ends up happening is people are basically using Vine Arrow to hit the bosses, right? And then the poison from the Vine Arrow gets consumed by the acidic concoction that you're using, again, the Nova support, to basically shotgun onto it. Normally, for a normal poison, it would get consumed. But I think because it's like a Vine Arrow that's like attached like an umbilical cord to the enemy and it keeps poisoning them, it consumes one and then it just, the poisons come back. So that's my guess for what's happening, but people are thinking it might be bugged. But it's insane. You're like doing crazy damage. Yeah.
That shit looks fucking broken, man. Holy. How's the clear on it?
I mean, the clear is, you can do whatever for clear, honestly. The acidic concoction and Vine Arrow is just, as long as you're using a poison skill, that's all you need. You can use whatever.
And also just do it on weapon swap and then on just go like Spiral Volley or whatever on weapon set 1.
Yeah, I'm planning to make this as like the acidic concoction Pathfinder as like my next build. We'll see if it gets nerfed or not. But for example, I think I'm gonna go like gas grenade mortar cannons or something like that. Try to change it up and then use a weapon swap for the Vine Arrows. But it's pretty dang insane. Again, it might be bugged, might not be bugged. Who knows? But it's definitely gonna get nerfed at some point, if anything.
Farmer's just looking like, poison concoction. Yeah, I'm like, what build are you next cooking, Farmer?
Are you guys using for that? Like, what kind of bow are we using for that? Maybe we set some bows here.
Let's just craft some stuff.
I saw you look like when I mentioned that I'm gonna be doing a crossbow lich build. I saw you like going, well, what can I maybe like craft?
I'm gonna buy like 30 glass laments tonight.
Wow,
it's over, guys.
They're actually very cheap now. Last Lament is probably the cheapest thing about that build.
Wait, really?
So, yeah.
How much is it?
I bought mine yesterday already for like 3 div, a good one.
They're gonna be 10 div tomorrow. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, I bought mine.
I'm
already.
gobbling them up.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Wow.
That's cool. That's really cool. That build, I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cook. That's what I mean.
I want to see it on Miso stream. I'm gonna see what Miso does with it, and then let's see.
Novel is just saying you can't do mortar cannons and Vine Arrows because you need an armed set. Oh, I forgot about that. Unfortunate. I'll think of another way to do it.
Damn it.
No. I'll think of another fun way to do
Damn it.
But yeah.
You will.
Hopefully. I'll try. Okay. I'll try my best.
Perfect. Anything else?
I
I have a build showcase for you guys. It's a warrior build. It's really meta right now, actually.
What is it?
Hideout warrior. I can show you my tree and everything as well. It's really good dip per hour. Zero maps clear. But
please do tell us more. What's the combat like for that build? Is it a fun class?
You don't even see mobs. That's how broken it is. Like they don't even enter your screen. Yeah,
you just get divs rating without even seeing mobs.
It's like there was
plane of existence.
Different plane of existence. They even buffed it this league. You don't even have to like kill the mobs to get the div anymore. They come right into your stash. Like there's this person named Anne. She just collects all the divs for you. You don't have to touch a mob. It's beautiful.
Wait, is Ange the loot pet people have been asking for so many leagues?
Yes. It's a warrior specific loot pet.
I still can't get on board with the name Ange. I would like Alva has such a good ring to it. Alva.
I do like Alva.
And now it's Ange. Like I'm checking my Ange.
No, you're right. Alva's a better name for sure.
Yeah.
Better than PoE1 though. PoE1 was Faustus. Like I'm not a fan of that.
A girl, I guess.
There's like this nut joke in there somewhere. Like Faustus not I don't know. That's
Faustus nuts.
That's episode 8.
That's episode 8, boys. We're gonna end this here. This is too much. But yeah, thank you all for hanging and thank you all for watching, people. And thank you, Farmer, for joining us on this wonderful episode 8 of the Path to Exile podcast, which again can be found on both Spotify and Apple Podcast and also RSS feeds. Please go check us out. Please leave a like and sub to the channel, whatever, right? But before we leave, Farmer, thank you again for hanging out and being here. Where can people find you?
No, it was a great time. This was really chill. Just like hanging with the boys. It was good for sure. Thank you guys for having me. People can find me in the Hideout next to Ange. No, I just stream on Twitch and YouTube. That's it. That's all I do. Nothing special here. Nothing fancy.
Oh, that X the Farmer X.
X the Farmer X, yeah.
And you're also on TikTok, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. You can find me on TikTok as well. X the Farmer X. We do some cool TikTok? Fortnite dances. No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
If only I'd go subscribe right now.
Yeah. Wait, can you stream on TikTok?
Yeah, but it's kind of complicated. It's kind of annoying.
Senator, I'm Singaporean.
All right.
I don't use TikTok. I don't know about the TikTok. I'm old.
Yeah,
I'm old and jaded.
TikTok.
Yeah. I still use MySpace and IRC for all my needs.
I went on Facebook yesterday for the first time. It was
because
crazy.
we were asking you for a picture for this podcast.
Yeah.
Which I did not end up using.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I just used one of your shorts captures, but it was a little bit better. I'm sorry.
That's fair, honestly. I don't take photos of myself anymore. I just don't. Yeah, I haven't in a long time. So,
well,
it's all right. Thank you though. But all right, Rabbit, you next.
Thank you for chilling. Yeah, hello. I'm streaming on Twitch as well. I stream on YouTube as well, I guess. I mostly stream Twitch and YouTube. Twitch.tv/deadrabbit. I'm streaming Path of Exile 2 every day. I do leave my hideout sometimes. A lot of times, actually. I do enjoy this league so much that I'm mainly playing. Like, I enjoy the build that I'm doing right now so fucking much that I keep wanna get some nice drops. I get my dopamine through drops. And sometimes you can give your stuff to Ange now, which is kind of perfect for someone like me, because I don't need to hideout warrior as much anymore, because when you actually get something, you just put it in your shop and then you continue playing. So yeah, hello, come to my stream, or misos, or farmers.
Check us all out, and I guess I'll kick us off with the last one. Miso X Shuru. Stream every single day. Path of Exile 2, also on YouTube and Twitch. I upload YouTube videos as well fairly regularly. So I mean, obviously you're here, so I guess if you're in the VOD, you're here. This is the channel, so you can sub here if you'd like. If you enjoyed the podcast, or I guess some people could be on Spotify on audio, but whatever. But yes, come sub, come check me out, and check these other lovely gentlemen out as well if you have the chance. But thank you all again for watching. This was a wonderful episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, folks, we'll see y'all later. Peace out.